Hey Chris, if we do that, you could
Let me start this. They don't even know what we're talking about. We just started recording.
I don't think they want to know what we want.
I don't know if we'll call this behind the boards or whatever we want to call it, but we're going to call this TPC Sample Challenge. You know, we all here. We're all Sample Challenge. I can't even say me because I had to struggle trying to do something yesterday. You know what I'm saying? But we got Sample Challenge producers in here that get it in. You know what I mean? Like y'all actually taught me like I need to step my fucking game up. I thought I was like I can get back in this, and hell, I fucking can't, man. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all dudes came in and y'all dudes like, especially yesterday, y'all beats was murderous and shit. You know what I'm saying? And 85 producers, you know what I mean? It was insane. You know what I mean? And I gotta give a salute before we start. Salute to every single one of y'all who come in, you know, to me and Rocco's platform and submit and get involved. You know what I mean? Get in the chats, and you know what I mean? And like when I said before, like people. When I first added y'all as my friend and shit, it was just me and y'all. And now I look on the pages and I see 100 mutual friends, 150 mutual friends. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, this is what we wanted. This is why we started this shit. You know what I'm saying? We started this for this reason. You know what I mean? Because me and Rocco was on the radio before. We was on college radio before this. You know what I mean? We were just hitting our area. I mean, we hit worldwide, but it was college radio. You know what I mean? So now we got this platform, which is where we're on our 6th year, you know what I mean? So it's like, we want to keep it moving. We only want to get better, you know what I mean? We want to keep increasing everything and, you know, and think of better ways, you know what I mean, to move. I mean, I'm happy y'all took the time to come in today. And Rocco, you got something to say before I continue?
Oh, no, man. I'll just say like, yo, you got that gift, the gab and the gift of networking and actually getting everybody together. Because me doing that, you know what I'm saying? People start looking at you like, oh, he just want to promote his music. He want to drop his link. He want us to follow him. You know what I mean? So people, it takes a lot for people to believe in it and feel like, yo, you know what I'm saying? He ain't just about him. It ain't just about them two. The platform's about togetherness and all of us. You know what I mean? So
facts.
I appreciate y'all, you know.
It's about everybody getting their opportunity to get in here. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's not, there's nothing that me and Rock are doing to try to get over on anybody. We're doing it actually for the culture and the love of the music, you know what I mean? And everybody else who feels the same way, you know what I mean? If we could do this like together, like I said, we're worldwide with this. You know what I mean? We all coming from everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So we could figure out ways to push this, you know what I mean, into different directions and do different things with it. We're down to listen, you know what I mean? I mean, people tell me about the sites that can't get the shirts or the hoodies. We're working on all that. You know what I mean? Because when you see you wearing this somewhere else in another country rocking it, like, yo, that's fucking dope. You know what I mean? I never thought that would ever to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like off the strength of independency. You know what I mean? Like we don't got nobody backing us up. Only one people got backing us up is y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man. So, and like I said, and we appreciate it. You know what I mean? We appreciate all your time and effort coming in and doing your thing. And, you know, we try to stay doing it every single week, 277 weeks now, 76 weeks strong, you know, like, but anybody got anything they want to plug in before I keep going, say something, you know what I'm saying? That's why we here. Like that, man. Yeah. Yeah, I talk a lot. You watch me talk the whole show. Like we said, me and Rocco, now I'm going to let this know, me and Rocco try to minimize our talking while your beats are playing. So your beats can be heard. You know what I'm saying? We really try to minimize it. You know what I mean? Because, you know, you guys take whatever time you take to put that production together for everybody else.
Check. 1, 2.
Check. But that was good, Chris. That was good that you were trying to put a beat together and you realize how long it takes to do that. And then when people talk over it, it's kind of shattering. Like, it's not just like I don't do a beat in an hour. It takes me ages to do a beat.
Well, my form is not, it takes me a long time to make a beat. I don't really know how to use the machine. You know what I mean? So I'm taking more time trying to figure out how to use the machine. That's why I went in there 8 different times. I was like, it's not working. I lose
Anybody see me?
Yeah.
But that's what it is actually. It's an exercise, man. It takes a lot. It's more than just making a beat. It's navigating through them folders. It's finding your files. It's a bunch of stuff, you know what I mean? So, and it don't happen just like that. It's, you know, that's like when you get a new piece of gear, you got to set aside some months or maybe a year to learn that piece of gear.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Now, real talk, it takes me about an hour to start coming up with an idea for a beat and get a good, chunk of it done. And then it takes about 20 hours to fix all the damn bugs on my computer.
Yeah, that's right. That's the easy part.
Then you're like, then you're like, why doesn't it give me sound? You plug everything, unplug everything, reconfigure your MIDI, your interface, and you just like, screw it.
But at the same time, go ahead. Who's saying something?
I talk with my friend and I creating music for me is like jujitsu. First, I'm a white belt. Second, I'm blue belt, and level up. When I created music and I came to the producer's corner, I'm saying, true, I'm only learning now because I'm not doing music for years. I'm doing for one year and a half. So it's not longer time, and I have only this. This is my studio.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
That'll work though. Hey man, I've done what I can for you. So no, I'm just playing. I made one beat this year. I made literally one beat this year. That was it.
And you with me, and I didn't even finish it. You know what I'm saying? So last year. It's a new year. You know what I'm saying? So let me see what I do.
Oh, last year.
You know what I'm
You're right. AKA yesterday.
Think about having you on here too. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like fucked up. But the fact is, I have all y'all here to help me if I need some help to do something. And I don't like asking. Like Sparks was helping me the other day, and I'm telling me, and he's telling me stuff that I do know, but he's telling me stuff like, oh, there's an eyeball right there. I'm like, oh, for us to be able to help each other and do that at the same time, you know what I mean? It only accesses to get better and, you know what I mean, and nicer. The more nicer you get in there, you know what I mean, the more you start singing, you know what I mean? Like this, and that's why we have the top, whatever, like the winner picks their tops, and then we have what was sitting in the room to have their pick too. So people don't want to go thinking that like, yo, I made a dope beat and nobody ain't noticed that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? We got like, we're like Dano Bravo. Where's Dano at and shit? Where you at? I'm seeing your there you go. Yeah, I see you. Yeah, that second party you beat yesterday was crazy. I was like, good grief, like yo. Let's done. You acknowledge that shit. You know what I'm saying? I know you seen me probably in the video. I was like, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, man. Thanks, brother.
You guys come with a whole different way. Each person comes into the way they do it, whatever equipment they're using, wherever they come from, the thoughts, the music behind them. You know what I mean? So that nobody knows who's gonna come up with what. So everything's different. You know what I mean? So you're like, all right, and then you guys as an individual are like, oh, this is what they're gonna come up with, and then you show different. You're like, oh shit, it's dope. You know what I mean? I just wanted to salute y'all. So is anybody besides Tudor like don't like the 90 seconds, or is they like the 2 minutes? You guys can speak up. I'm not trying to put Tudor out there like he's the only one. I want to know if somebody else feels like that too.
Damn, Tudor.
90 seconds.
I like the 2 minutes, man.
90 seconds is good.
Yeah.
Like 90 seconds?
Yes.
Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, you said that like 3 times. What up, Brains? You can hear me?
I like 2 minutes.
I like 90 seconds too, because it doesn't give you a chance to. You don't have to do too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To keep it entertaining.
But
So,
see, that's where I get messed up.
Getting in every week is that you don't have time. You could just whip up a quick loop and make it work for 90 seconons. You know what I mean?
Who's keeping a tally? Who's keeping a tally? Because I'm losing count of who says 90 and who says 2 minutes.
Derek, what do you think? I know you like to do the split beats.
I don't care.
Raise your hand if you're 2 minutes.
It's however we getting down. 90 seconds, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I don't care. It's whatever.
How many minutes is it when they do the live shit?
The live, it depends. If it's a showcase, it's usually like 90 seconds. if it's a beat battle or something like that, it's usually like 60 seconds. 60 to 90 seconds is the top. Like 2 minutes, it's like you start to drift off into, and it really
that's what happens. I think
it depends on who the producer is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it really does depend. And honestly, I think it's really up to. Well, I can't say it's just up to Rocco or Chris, but at the same time, it's like if you tune in every week and you listen, it's like 2 minutes is can be a long time or it can be enjoyable.
Word
it's all
up.
relative based on whoever made the beat.
So that's what I'm saying. It says a lot. Like, y'all don't want us talking through the beats. If we're really conscious, y'all know how we really feel if we cut that shit off at 1:30. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's good to have that 2 minute cushion too. You know what I mean? I see producers, SoundClouds, they got their beats 3 minutes or whatever. You never know. We just be not paying attention. Your beat to play a little longer. So, you know what I mean?
I honestly, I only speak from the fact that I've like done like live performances before and DJ and stuff like that. And it's like when you gotta keep the crowd in mind. It's like no matter how dope you think your beat is or whatever, it's like you just gotta keep it moving. And if that means 45 seconds, you're like, and that's a whole nother thing too. Just because you have 2 minutes doesn't mean you gotta use all the 2 minutes. Like just because you have 90 seconds doesn't mean you have to use all the 90 seconds. You know,
hey, can I say something?
Okay, bro.
Go ahead.
Hey, what if we had it at 2 minutes? You played the beat for 90 seconds, and Chris and Rocco could bring us in like we on here now, and we can talk about the beat. Something like
That's a really good idea. That's a perfect idea.
Like 90 seconds, and then whoever's live.
30 seconds to critique.
Yeah,
Be longer than 30 seconds.
I want the critical feedback. I don't mind because I don't make beats. I make one beat a week for this show. I don't spend all week making beats, and I love hearing. I get my feedback from my wife and my brother, and they tell me if my beats suck or not. I want to hear from y'all. Like, you need to do this. You know, because I'm 7.9. Rocco was giving me. That was inspiring me, man.
I was like, Tim mad at me, man.
I was like, hey, Rocco, I'll be like,
yeah, I've been thinking, I'm like, he's probably mad at you, Rocco.
Yo, the way you guys did it though, 90 seconds, and then you stopped in between the beats and talked about it for like a half a minute. I think that was cool. Because then to his point, once you play that 90 seconds, then you can just kind of critique it and talk about it a little bit, and then you have that cushion of time before you go to the next beat. So we're not you kind of get the commentary and you get the beat. Whereas before it was like 2.5 minutes. You know, and all you hear is the beat, and then you got to move the hell on because you ain't got time to talk.
We got to keep in mind that the people that are hosting the show, you know, however many hours it takes to do a show each week, you know, Chris and Rocco and all the other diehards that come each week from start to finish, you know, it takes a while, and it's in the middle of your weekend, you know, so like keeping the flow of things going and not taking too long to play a beat when there's lots of submissions, and not taking too long to critique each beat, the talking, the in-betweens, to keep it flowing and going is crucial. And to have that happy medium of having a 90-30 where you play the beat, you can talk about it, get your constructive feedback, and you can, you know, I also will be inspired by a 7.9 to come back next week and flesh it out a little bit. These days, I don't have much time to devote each day to my submission. So constructive criticism is crucial to growth, at least for me, because I've grown a lot from starting. I think I started week 38, and my skills have developed and fleshed out so much after all these sample challenges. It really does help you to grow and mature as an artist.
Yeah.
So like having that happy medium, I think that's crucial. But also, we as submitters, we can't be demanding too much from the people who are doing the show. We can't have it bogged down for so much. It already takes so many hours. I know that some weeks, you know, people have stuff going on. There's been weeks where, you know, Rock was sitting in on his own birthday, you know, while he's on vacation. So we have to keep that kind of stuff in mind too. Everybody.
Yeah. I think I agree. I think that 30 seconds is going to be more beneficial for us with like
That's huge.
being critiqued than listening to an extra 30 seconds music. So yeah.
You mean like so like so you mean like so like after we play the 90 seconds, Rocco does his Richter scale, like yo, I like the drums on that shit. You know what I mean? You mean like that? And then
Yeah, Rocco's been doing that now and then. He'll say that, you know, little things that he likes in it.
What you guys did yesterday was perfect.
I think there should be criticism there as well, though. There shouldn't just be.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I agree.
That was good. You know, you should be picking out things that.
I mean,
you think wrong in the beat, or
it could be, but it's gonna have to be like a hot take, real quick.
Yeah, it's hard too, bro, because you don't want to stand on any toes, and you're hoping that people don't take it the wrong way or something like that. So critiquing it, like lots of times it comes to your preference too. You know, the only thing we can really judge is on mixing or whatever, but we can't say, you know, we like the beat because of this or whatever. That's just like a preference.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to force something to say after every beat. Sometimes it's just, it is what it is. Keep it moving.
That's what I'm saying. When you do have something, you can say it, and then outside of that, it's just let it ride.
Yeah,
you don't have nothing.
Yeah, because to be honest, other genres don't get like a shot. Like it's a sample challenge. It's not a boom bap, you know, sample challenge. And yet, a lot of other genres don't really get as much love as boom bap, to be honest.
I think
you know, like trap and that don't get much love.
I think when Rocco does his Richter scale rating, he doesn't go by it being boom bap. He goes by whatever is dope to him. He doesn't care what kind of music it is. You know what I'm saying? Am I correct, Rocco?
Yeah, it's a few different factors that go into it. Of course, I'm listening to kick, snare, sample usage, can you perform over that track, but then a lot of times like a CTFX, like, you know what I mean? I can't do what he does. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So I take that into consideration also, you know what I mean? You know, and the emotion like we discussed on yesterday's show, like, yeah, it's just how I feel about it, you know? Whatever my brain sensors are telling me, you know what I mean?
It's your show at the end of the day. So like people said, you know, like the flow of everything, if like you don't have anything to say for certain beats, then it's not like obligated, you know, it's okay, whatever comes off. Like I like the snare, I didn't like the mix, whatever, you know, and just that like that allowance to do it if you want, or for like the sake of like the whole timing of the whole show, just to be like, yeah, 8.5 next beat. I like the flow of things yesterday too, and I take a while to get used to things. Like I was like, there was sometimes when like there was the talking in the in-betweens, I was like kind of like waiting to get to hear the next beat. That could just be me getting used to a new format, a new change in the way this show is run. So like it honestly, we may just have to try it for a few weeks, get the feedback, see how many people like it, how many people don't.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know what I mean? Just to try it a few times in real life.
You see the fire emojis when people are liking it. You see it pop, pop, pop. They start popping up on the chat. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and just like we tell whoever comes in with us in the chats during the week, if any of y'all want to come sit with us in the chats and have your pick, just ask me and I'll put you in the show with us that week. You know what I'm saying? Like me and Rocco have no problem letting somebody get their shine out. We have no problem with that shit. You know what I mean? Get in there, let people know who they are and how they feel about it. We don't care about that. You know, we don't got no hate, like that blood and none of that.
Right, but even that, like, you don't have to be in the show to comment. Maybe even the people in the chat can help each other out by giving feedback to the producers. You don't have to be on the show to give feedback. You can be in the chat and still give feedback to those beats too, maybe.
Absolutely.
It's how it's received. Like if you're not given a position of sort of being a judge or anything, then if you're judging someone's beat and giving them feedback, like half the people will take it well, half the other people won't take it well.
Yeah.
You can't please everybody. You know what I mean?
That's fact. You know me, I try to be on a neutral scale. You know what I mean? Like if I really don't like something, I'm not gonna say it. You know what I mean? It's just how I am. Unless you ask me, and I'm not gonna say it in front of all y'all. I'll say it to the person alone. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how I am. You know what I mean? I don't like Fuck Stress, man. He's whack. Fuck his show. He just fucking dissing motherfuckers and shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, you know what I mean? I don't want to get done like that. I'd rather just do it. And you guys, anybody as an artist themselves watch, they're knowing if they're getting nicer or not from response. They know. They can tell. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, that's what people, okay, that's what they like. Okay. All right, so I'm winning on that. So that's like, he said he liked that for some reason. So there's something about that makes people like. So let me add that to what I do next time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
I definitely think you have to get the after shows back, Chris. Like, even though it's hard to get people together, that's a good way of helping people because that's why they pick those winners. Like, it's good getting feedback from the judges.
Yeah.
Like, and that's a good way of showing each, new winners coming in. Like, I know it's hard with the like times and stuff like that, but I think we need to get the after show back.
I think, and that's dope that you bring up the after show. You know what I'm saying? It could, like, if we got these 40 beat weeks, you know what I'm saying? Do an after show. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's normal
when Dano Bravo was battling who? Sometimes bringing a little competition at the end of the show.
Yeah.
That shit was dope.
That was dope.
Yeah, that was cool. Because then that's when you can do honorable mentions as on the after show. You like, but I like these other people though, like they just didn't make it into the top because of this reason, but they had a dope beat. All these other ones could have easily made it into the top 10 or top 20 or whatever.
Yeah,
that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, I tried to go into a little bit of detail because I don't know who did that the last time whenever I was in one. I think it might have been OTI, somebody. And they kind of explained why they picked the beats that they did. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, there's really no real criteria on most of the top beats that really separate them.
Yeah.
Most of the top ones are, they pushing the limit. Like Rocco was saying yesterday about the 10s. I mean, these guys are busting out, just like yesterday. I mean, I wanted with everything I had to tie on first place because I just didn't see a difference between those beats. But, as far as the shows, I ever thought about going live like a week? Or maybe like having a producer load up a beat, make a beat live on YouTube. Maybe if you got some help, people you trusted to go live in the producer corner name.
We was talking about a few things, like, you know what I mean? Like, we think about doing like maybe a Friday night lounge like type shit, and come in and people just get in here and let them rock some of their beats, some of the regular beats while we just talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, not like every Friday night, but like maybe every other Friday night or something if we can. You know what I'm saying? Or a different night. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Like, and we could do the same thing. And people come in and you know what I mean. And I actually wanted to. What I was gonna do is, I mean, and I know not everybody got it, but I wanted to do like the people who got their rings, like the 5 rings and up. I wanted to do a little mix segment of their beat of what they did in the sample challenges and post it on the YouTube. You know what I mean? To let them know that they announced that the rings that they got, like for tutors in here. So we got 11 rings tutor.
You should definitely do a Lord of the Rings spoof, like something like a parody.
Yeah, I mean, we was thinking of the Lord of the Rings, and they all go against each other.
Isn't one of them called the Fellowship of the Rings?
Yeah, the first one.
You can call it the Fellowship of the Beats.
But we're doing like a like Lord of the Rings. We do whoever's got the top rings would wait in the top, while the other ones, like, say if nobody got no rings, everybody who don't all got gold rings would go against each other to get that one ring to go against the ones with all the 1 rings. You know what I mean? Then the one ring go against the 2. You know what I'm saying? And the 3. You know what I mean? 4. You know what I'm saying? So though actually one person, if they're that nice and never got a ring, could win it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, get it through. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo.
Hey, if I got to win 2.5 years ago, does that count as a ring?
Any ring from the beginning counts. You know what saying?
A win is a win, right?
Yeah. I jumped in at 50, and
I think y'all getting in every week is a win.
2 years, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
That's why I think this is a good idea. There's people that get in every week that they never, get in the top 5. And this is a way for them to like get a crack at that top tier.
I think that's why it's good having other picks apart from the winners. So hopefully some of those ones that don't get in the top 5 will get picked from like Rocco, Chris, or whoever's on the show.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I think that goes that kind of goes along with what you guys are talking about as far as people feeling a certain way and all that kind of stuff. If you're like, I get people got their feelings, they put a lot into their beats, but if it's top tier, it's top tier. If it's not, it is what it is. And people have to also understand that's just the way it goes. If you're not in the top tier, you just got to get better. And but that's what producers corners here for.
That's what you want to do.
We're supposed to sharpen each other. Yeah.
That's what you want to do at the end of the day is to get better. You know what I mean? That's
like,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I'm amazing in my own head. But if somebody else comes up with something, I'm always listening, pay attention, going, oh damn, I want to try that next time. And I try to improve.
End of the year awards, like MVP, producer of the year.
Yeah, I said that yesterday, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy that you said that because Rocco mentioned you as one of this year of the coming up in. Right? Where's Rocco? Rocco, you here?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just.
Yeah, he was like, I think I'll put Diamonds Over Nations for the one for the year for coming in. I was like, for real? He goes, yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I think that'll be a dope idea too.
It would be dope. I mean, me and Rob have to come up with. I mean, you guys can help us like titles or something just for that.
Yeah, different titles.
I mean, we could do for last year, you know what I mean? But then continue on. I don't remember nothing from the years before to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? But
maybe I have idea. Because I think that how many people that you get many ideas because everyone give you some idea. So I think if I can tell something, it's only my opinion. Yes, because I'm a little guy in this world. So I think that you're gonna sit with Rocco, think what is good, what is bad for the show, and you're gonna pick up the thing. But I think my idea is that something like in UFC, you have players and they have a statistic. And after a year, we're going to see who has the biggest statistic and going to win. After, I think, of Havley or something like this. Something like League of Beats Makers.
Yeah, well, what he was saying, Lord of the Beats.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings. Everybody like who won like a certain amount of times. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think the most wins ever in a sample challenges is 12, I think. 13, 12. I believe it's maybe geology, maybe geology and somebody else. I don't know if
13. Oh, what's his name? Obscure.
Obscure, yeah, Obscure, yeah, Obscure. And Obscure hasn't been getting in sample challenges really ever and shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of y'all too. Like y'all ain't could come in for a minute. I'm like, I got into it. Where you been? He's like, I'm making some beats for Rocco. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm still waiting to hear it. But
yeah, then I started an album, and then the album flopped, and then I'm back at square one. Just fun.
One idea that I was having in regards to just trying to educate one another is if any of the winners would want to ever do like a behind the beat, kind of show their process, and that would I think would be really,
that's what I was going to say,
really helpful to the guy trying to learn and shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm down with that. I mean, just like, the person got to have the right camera settings and everything at their house.
That's the only. That's a technical issue to do with it, right?
I mean, because I'm there and they're like, this food is far. I mean, I can't. All right, just come over. We can do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I could tell, like Louis Brains. Okay, I could go to your spot. You're right there. You know what I'm saying? But it's like.
Even if it's just people like picking certain sounds that they're like proud of creating and showing how they did the sound design. You know, you don't have to show someone how you made a whole beat, but if you showed people how you like the beats with his vocal samples, how he like strings like a sort of like 70s, he'll like create a completely different vocal out of another vocal. That's the stuff I want to learn about.
Yeah, like a specific, this is how I do this.
Yeah.
Techniques.
That's a great idea. Just certain aspects, certain techniques. Maybe some people want to show the whole process from start to finish. Sometimes you just want to say, hey, this is how I do vocals. This is how I fill in my chorus. This is how I get my drums to slap the way they do. So yeah, that is a great idea.
Sidebar, y'all are like really humanitarians and awesome people, because you remember back in the old school, I'm sure Rocco and Chris can attest to this, and a lot of other people that are up there in age, in regards to how it used to be, in regards to like samples, like, and when nobody trying to share no knowledge.
Oh no,
like,
nobody would teach you nothing.
Like, don't worry about where I sampled it from. Why are you even asking? Like, you almost looking at them like a fed. But no, what I was gonna say is, I don't know if anybody listened to the podcast Questlove Supreme with Questlove. And Fonte from
I watched some of them. Yeah, I just saw that.
They just had Organized Noise on there in 2 parts. And anybody that knows about Organized Noise,
they play that shit.
Yeah. But Ray is like almost a silent partner, because you hear Rico and you hear Sleepy, but Ray has like always been a quiet one. Man, they was like giving up sample sources. Ray was in the background. Like, hey, this is like from 30 years ago. We talk like stuff like listening. He was getting mad defensive, like, hey, cool out. No. Like, for anybody, please, like, listen to that. It's full of jewels, but at the same time, like, you see that dichotomy between what we're doing right now with like I said, like everybody wanting to teach one and learn different techniques, to that old school mentality of like, no, you figure it out.
Well, that's the big thing too. Back in the day, right? There wasn't the internet. Everybody was a worldwide. So if you're in my neighborhood, I don't want you to know my secrets because I want to be the top guy. But now it's like, it's you know what, how many billion people on the earth? And so it's like, if I show you and you go do something in this part of the world and I go do something over here, we can still have a space and everybody makes money. So
right.
I mean, do producers really ever give up really like everything though, really truly? Like, do you really give up your whole bag, man? I mean,
I think to a certain point it's impossible to do that though, because you would have to sit with me 24/7 and hear my brain.
I really don't think. I mean, and maybe I'm just speaking out of turn, but I mean, for me, man, you know, I'll be honest. I could tell you what I'm doing, but there's certain things in my bag, man, that I feel like God gave them to me.
Well, you gotta have your tricks.
I don't think Kanye is gonna go through, or Pete, all these guys gonna go through and give you all the ingredients. You know what I mean? I think you just have to have a great ear and a great ability, or the want to go and dig and figure out what it is that's getting done. And then you might discover something for yourself. You might find some jewels on your own. You know what I mean? I'm not against tutorials and all that stuff, man. But as real producers and real writers and stuff like that, people like us, man, that's creators, we got to go and create. And sometimes, man, you land on something, you be like, ooh, that's hot.
Yeah,
I
gotta give you
nobody doing that.
I agree with you. Like, I'll let you in my house look around, but you can't take my furniture.
So you can't go in your dresses in your bedroom and shit. You know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah, it's just what it is. I mean, back in the day, like back here, man, we used to go to parties around here, and I'm going back, you know, and the DJ, man, you know, he had his records all marked out. And you had to be like, yo, what is that break beat that's playing? And he would have a DJ, whatever. You know what I mean? You would never know. Cross all the covers out,
that's
everything.
How Cool Herc started,
you didn't know what it was. And that's, so I'm thinking like nowadays, man, like I said, I'm definitely cool because, you know, all the YouTube videos and all the things and that are out there and all the education is out there, man. But it's nothing like hearing a producer and you say, yo, what is that? And it intrigue you and be like, yo, he's doing something, he's cutting samples up a certain way. I got to go back in the lab and just use your ears. Well, and it'll force you to do those things. You know what I mean? So I'm not, like I said, I'm not against giving things away and, you know, hey, this is what I do, but there's certain things in that tool bag.
You're right. That's why we were
improve
saying
that.
like I could show you how I arrived to something, but I'm not gonna necessarily like, you know what I mean? You're gonna know what it took to get there, so you can kind of recreate your own steps, and you can take that process and change it up yourself. But I'm not gonna be like, hey, this is exactly what I did. Copy me. You know what I mean? Because nobody wants that.
And also, I think too, man, it helps with just spreading things out. Like, I mean, a lot of things is just sounding the same to me. And I mean, when you know you go back some years, you had so much diversity in producers, man. Right now, it's like, man, everybody's kind of doing the same thing and copying and or chopping samples or you know just doing things that everybody's doing because they saw somebody else do it. It's the part of going in the lab and really creating and failing and yo, this really sounds horrible, and then go back and just make it beautiful. You know what I mean? That seems to be missing, like the creative part of it to me, you know. I like to see us get back to like I mean something mind blowing. You know what I mean? And then I want to see like 10 mind blowing producers, not all sound the same. You know what I mean? I hope we can get back to that. MCs too.
A lot of that comes with you got like groups like the Leftovers that all clicked up and everybody started collaborating with one another. And I think collaboration helps. Like I'm super accessible, so if anybody want to ever collab or do anything, like me and Phil Real just we all just came out with a project together back at Halloween. So I'm down to collab with whoever, whenever. So just give me the work.
Yeah, maybe we could do something like that, bro. Like have a challenge where you get two producers together. It'll be a better way to like make connections and stuff. We done that a few years ago, eh, Chris?
Yeah, did it like the way I did it was you don't know who your partner was gonna be, so it'd be like, okay, this is your partner. Maybe it might not click. Maybe one of y'all.
The duo challenge.
Yeah.
Like
that was
Russian
dope, bro.
roulette.
Dope music came out of that.
I think I did one with RZ over. He's in Spain, right?
Yeah.
I did 1 week with him. I did 1 week with John Nolan down in Orlando. Those two were really dope. Yeah.
But see, it's coming up with that idea. That is a good idea because if we do like another duo challenge, we'll let you pick your partners. You know what I'm saying? Then fucking do it.
No, it should be random. I think it should still be random.
Or if you have like one person with like loads of rings and one person with no rings, and you even it out with like
that'll be dope. Yeah,
you should do both. I mean, all these ideas are good. Like rotating through them, like to do a duo where it's a lottery, do a duo where it's like you got rings and you don't got rings. Do one where everyone can pick, and allowing people that basically allows everybody to get what they want. So as like leaders, you know, the people who are kind of making the decisions that affect the whole group, they're never going to be the bad guy. This is, you know, it kind of reminds me of, you know, a few months back when we were talking about, should we do one song? Should we do a whole album? Should we do a bunch of random songs for the sample challenge material? And, you know, one of the ideas was to rotate, you know, do 1 week where it's, you know, you can sample a whole album. Do 1 week, you know, maybe where the people that just wanted to stick to one song can do that. Do 1 week where it's just a bunch of random ones. And that's literally like what these meetings are for. You know, I remember that was talked about in one of the meetings, and you know, we kind of came to the conclusion that it does get redundant. You know, if you just have one song, the beats start to sound the same, regardless of how creative some people can be.
That's the reason why I keep hearing the same thing over and over again.
But you see what happened yesterday. A lot of us tapped in.
That one vocal spot, the Chinese.
Everybody like that Chinese joint.
Yeah, that shit was fun.
You know, what it comes down to
I did it
today is that's just good. That's just bait. We just all bit at the same bait. That's just how some minds work. Regardless,
sometimes my mind works to think of something that no one else would have thought of. Like, who would not use this part and shit? You know what I mean? But someone else might be thinking the same I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I used it because I didn't have much time at all the entire week to work on my shit, and that was just a cop out. That was just an obvious dope sample for me to work with and put something together kind of quick, and it didn't suck.
Yeah,
Rock gave me a 9.
It's how you use it with other
that
songs.
shit was hard.
Yeah, but it was. Yeah, but it wasn't a
It was redundant. It was definitely,
dope.
and I'm always coming in late. I'm always putting my submission in towards the end. So my beats come in and it's one of the last ones everyone hears. So what I usually try to stay away from the obvious parts. I usually will be sneaky, but that was just, it was in between Christmas and New Year's and I was just smacked for time. So I was like, this is it. It's either this or nothing. And I had to participate, you know?
Well, that's why I heard a couple of those, especially that one sample y'all did, most everybody used. And I was like, this is obvious. I'm not going to use it. So I found Bitches Brew, and there was a breakdown with a bass line, and I just rearranged the shit out of those bass chops. And just changed it up. But that was the sample I used in my beat. It was just the bass line. Everything else I built up.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that because I have Bitches Brew on vinyl and I haven't sampled it yet. And I told myself that I'm not going to use that for this week's submission. So I skipped, I'm weird like that. So I skipped over certain shit because of just weird purist rules that I have in my own brain. And then, you know, like I'm also pressed for time. So I go and do what we don't want to do is take the obvious spots that, you know, most people are going to hit. Usually I don't, but this week it was there for me.
Well,
honestly,
you press for time and it showed up like, hey, what's up? You're like, all right, I pick you.
It worked, bro. It just worked.
Yeah. You guys at the same time, like
there is something you can also I found success in taking obvious spots, but then twisting them in a way that people wouldn't by dropping the pitch or slowing it down or chopping it and then using sections and then completely it's like, oh wow, oh wait, he did that with that. Like that's where I find creativity also.
Okay, sorry that I interrupt you guys, but I go tomorrow to nasty work, so I gonna say you Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
yes.
Happy New Year.
I love you guys. You are crazy, honest people.
Salute, man.
Yes, and think about the girls who dance over the stress and shake the booties.
Y'all trying to get us in trouble. You know I love me in trouble.
You know, super ugly already got the Paris thoughts. You know, so when everybody was going to meet us in Paris, expect that. You understand? Anybody can make a playlist themselves and give it to me. You know, we think it's good enough for me to put it. You know, I say it every time. Even if it's a couple songs, like if you want to add this song in the next week's playlist, let me know. You know what I mean? Because it just makes it easier for me. Last probably like 5 weeks, I've been doing it myself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but people be sitting here with me when I show it to them, and they're like, "Yeah, that's dope. That's dope." Like Eli's like the last one. I was playing a couple, and he's like, "Yeah, that's dope. You should put that." And I'm like, "All right." Randomly, like, we'll just be in the chat, and I'll just see it, and I'll click on it. And I'm like, "Okay, I'll add it in the playlist."
Respect, guys. See you later.
Later, bro.
Peace,
bro.
You said, Tudor?
You're doing a good job with the playlist.
Like
Chris, if you ever need help with the playlist, that's one thing that I definitely could help you out with. And it's been a while since I offered that to you. So if there's ever a week when you're busy, you know me, I got mad records, so I know all kinds of weird shit. If I could ever help out.
Oh, you want to put it on put it in YouTube. Or something.
drop them in the chats. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what I mean. And I've never tried, like I said, what I try to do. I don't know if you noticed, I try to make it as drumless as possible, as singless as possible. You know what I mean? As it doesn't stay doing the same thing towards the end. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, you know what I mean? That's what I look for. Like what would I look for?
I'm a breakbeat cat.
But honestly,
it's
I
crazy.
appreciate the weeks when you guys throw in the drum break. You know, I'm a breakbeat cat.
I mean,
I also
you're
just
gonna get it. Yeah. I could do that too.
But honestly, it's getting harder and harder to find like original material never used before.
Yeah, this shit ain't easy.
Because like we almost finished YouTube.
I mean, I'll post one
tracks every week for like 277 weeks. So yeah, sometimes we have like beat samples that we used like
we use too many, bro. We should have only like 4 or 5, but sometimes we have 7, maybe 9. Like that's way too many.
No,
Plus, my idea is that it's always the same thing. I mean, it's always like YouTube samples that we find, like old school soul samples.
It's dope, man.
Or like stuff from the 70s. I mean, it's always the same thing. And I'm like, okay, so why not we try to make a sample challenge that will be a little bit different, like a sound kit. Like we use like kits that we all record from the area, like a car passing by, toolkits from the kitchen, or like even like some melody chords that we have for an unfinished beat. And
Exactly.
we give it to Chris. He makes a zip file, and then he said to people, download that zip file and make a beat out of this piece of chunk or sounds or stuff, and try to be creative. That will be interesting.
But no extra sounds.
There's a whole like
yeah. That sounds like a
whole genre. There's a whole genre on YouTube of just tutorial videos where you can, watch videos of people showing you how to play the bass, showing you how to play the drums, showing you how to play the piano. So ripping off tutorial videos is also like another weird sample pack kind of genre. It's something that I always use, like personally when I'm making beats, because I've come into that problem where I've exhausted just normal like genres to sample shit. So I got into the part where I'm going to like some lady's like old piano video like channel where some old lady showing you how to play the piano and just ripping her off, and I'll never get sued by her. She's never gonna come for me.
That's piano tutorial.
Yeah. Just because you just find yourself in weird places like that because of that exact reason. Super Ugly just nailed it.
Let's try something different. Let's see who's really creative.
You can make the sample challenges challenging every once in a while, Then there's the weeks where we do the sonic shit, the soul shit, like all of the obvious shit, and then every once in a while, like he just said, just do a weird sample pack where it's just noises, just weird shit. And you also
but you're gonna need music besides that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know, like kitchen tools. It's easy to make hi-hats from like two spoons together sounds. You just have to tweak a little bit the sound to make it high pitched, and then you use it as a hi-hat.
Hey, I grew up in a Puerto Rican family. We know how to use pots and pans for music.
Exactly. Yeah. You guys ever hear that album that those two guys made out of their washing machine? They made a whole album, and it's just all sounds from their washing machine.
That's crazy, man.
It's dope. I mean, it's techno. It's techno music, but it's insane. It is as far as raw creativity from scratch. It's amazing.
But yo, let me tap into that real quick. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's dope. Like, I see people making beats out of crickets and shit. But back to the sample, like that's where it all started for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's always what my law is gonna be. And like, I feel blessed coming in every week and seeing a list like 5 tracks like that. Back to what the other dude was saying earlier. Like back in the days, you find a gem like that and you almost hide it. You don't want to share that shit. Like that's your secret shit. But you know what came from that? Like look how many hits were made from Footsteps in the Dark from the Isley Brothers. These are tracks. Everybody had these records, but they made like magic out of it. And that's what I think a little bit, like we're taking it a little bit for granted. Those dope samples that Chris finds sometimes, I feel like personally sometimes I take that for granted. Like I hear that, because like with samples, you're searching for a feel. Like you're trying to tap into a vibe, you know what I'm saying? Like I like the sound pack thing, but it like when you're searching for samples, you're searching for that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I cannot explain that, man.
Add it to it.
So, yeah. It's a little bit different, But that's just my personal opinion in that.
Well, when we had, like we had in our chat group, we had our own personal challenge to spice the sample challenge up. We done a genre challenge. And that helped you as a producer by learning other techniques to make sounds. So you had to actually sit down and do tutorials to see how they done sounds. And we'll just have like a random genre pull out of our hat pretty much, just to make your skills sharper and make it more interesting too. Like I've been in it since 15, like the sample challenge, and like I'm not saying that I have progressed where I can go, but it just helped me progress a bit more by doing these different challenges.
Same here. A lot of growth just
Yeah,
by
you-
doing weird
another
shit that I
thing-
normally wouldn't do.
Another thing to add to it now is being the new year. I don't want to seem like I'm saying something new, but there is this thing called stems, and if you have access to stems with these samples, like Dave Love mentioned Footsteps in the Dark. Well, what if you could just get the acapella of Brian Isley singing? That opens a whole nother realm. Somebody mentioned it earlier as far as I think.
And you can too, and you can get it.
That's what I'm saying. So if you mess around and get the stems for all these older samples, that opens a whole other box to where, I'm sorry, I've been sampling for over 20 years, and it's like, you mean to tell me I can go back and get, it's like, it's a whole other set of possibilities.
You're talking about the Serato stems, right? Like
Exactly,
the
stems. That's
Yeah.
one, but there's like multiple software that do it now.
That's crazy, bro.
Bro, you said something real big right there, man. I'm excited actually about some of this software that's out, man, because I'm hearing like, you ever play like I listen to all kind of music, and you ever play a record and you be like, yo, if I can get those drums right there.
Without all the extra shit on it.
There was nothing else happening right there. And now we got this software where you can get that just right there. What you want. Yo, that is like, that just, to me, that just, I don't know, I guess you
That's
guys
that gangster thievism. We can just take that shit away from motherfuckers.
I've heard,
no one will ever know.
Yo, it catches the snap.
I've heard some cracks, man, and some records, man, from I don't know if that was the fifth. I don't know if it was Frank Sinatra or what record it was, man. And I just happened to be listening, and I was like, yo, let me go back and he was, the whole band was playing, but the drums at one point was cracking so hard, and I was like, man, yo, if I could just strip everything away from that and just get that. And now we have the software. They've made the software where you can get just that.
Again, the only thing
like the brother just said, that just opens up a whole nother thing, man.
You used to be able to just do it with the bass before. You can always filter everything out and keep that bass no matter what and play with it.
Not anymore. By this stuff out there, you can just get the bass.
Yeah, and it catches the dynamics. It catches the punch. Like if you want to learn something about that new technology, go check out that sample pack that Beat Butcher put out. Like any of these packs, like from the Field series, you're gonna see how he filtered the drums actually through some RX-9 shit. So you can actually hear like a drum kit, but like it's muffled. You're like, yo, what up with it? But it's just catching the punch, It's just catching the punch for you to sample, but that's already a giveaway trick. Like he already showed it, like
That dude on another level. He on another level. I use one
crazy.
of his loops. I used one of his loops a couple of challenges back, and man, it's just that whole pack that I got from there. It was just crazy, man. The stuff, the way he samples, the way he chops off beat like that. It's crazy, man. It just opened up a bunch of stuff that I wanted to try, and it's crazy when you get something new, and you can tell because you'll try to throw everything on that 1-2 minute beat.
That's true, man.
But one thing I noticed, man, is that with age, I'm at that point where I can see the different sides. When I was younger, I cared more about my rep, as a producer. I go into a room of producers, I want to talk my shit. Now I care more about my legacy, I want to try to teach more, encourage the younger guys, stuff like that, And about the thing what you said, you can't show everybody everything. Man, it's sometimes I sit back and wonder how I did what I did. So I know I couldn't tell nobody else how I did.
That's why I was agreeing with them earlier, and I was saying that even if you showed somebody everything you do, they're not in your brain. So they still, if you got that special thing about you, they can't replicate it anyway.
No, it's the power of experiencing shit, discovering shit,
For that beat that you're working on at the minute, like you're not going to go and use the same process for every song you do.
No.
Anyway,
I mean, you can, but you're going to be very boring. Nobody's gonna listen to you.
You forget about techniques. You'll do something a lot for a few months, and then you won't use it. You'll find something else to do. So it's share stuff whilst you're still using it.
That's just building levels in your style too. You can go back and do what you before. Like I already did. I can throw that in there. Yeah, same thing.
That's me. I'm like an ADHD person. I just forget what I did before. I'm like, oh yeah, I did that like 10 years ago. And I'll remember it randomly and be like, let me try this on the beat. Sometimes it don't work either.
Timing too. When you talk about no quantize, just like different drummers have different timing, and that makes beats completely different. And that's something that is really hard to teach. Well, in fact, I don't know that you can teach it when you're talking about timing, because if you go back and then you like open the grid and then you look at where your stuff is, it's like, whoa, wow, that stuff's off. That stuff's ahead of time. That stuff's behind time. I don't know how to teach that, Yeah.
I watched the documentary with like Questlove, where he was talking about playing the drums. He was playing really robotic. And then I pay attention to that stuff to try to incorporate it too while I'm doing my stuff. I can't play the drums. I can play a drum machine. Questlove was doing the beats and he said it sounds too robotic. And then he started to drag the beat a little bit in certain parts and do different things. And that's how he has the sound that he has. When you hear the roots, you just, damn, it's something magical about that. But
yeah, I saw that. He said he was trying to imitate the way Dilla make beats.
Yeah.
By playing.
He's trying to impress D'Angelo.
He's trying to impress D'Angelo. In threes, like 3 bars, fucking instead of 4 or 2s. You know what I'm saying? Like doing shit like off.
Yeah.
Just to even think of that shit, it's like, yo, you know what I mean? Like that's where you like how Twitter say you approach it differently every time. You know,
and that's what he
was
saying. That's something you can't teach nobody. They just have to work it out themselves.
Right.
So people that's just how they think. You know what I'm saying? Like they just fuck. You know what I mean? Like how the fuck you think it's just. You know what I mean? It's like you might meet somebody like you. Say if you're somebody from the suburbs and you meet someone who straight lived in the streets and had nothing, and you go do something again. Like why does he do it this way and shit?
Yeah.
You just fucking think different and shit. You know what I mean? Like yo, like it's different.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's just basically feel, man. It's what Quest and producers, some of them, and you feel what they're doing. You know, the records that we talk about, man. They didn't have no. James is just counted off 1, 2, 3, 4, and they just be going, man. And you had this feel. That's why we sample from those records, man. That's why we pull from the past like that, man. Because it's just feel. It's beyond the machines and stuff that we use, man. After a while, like my man just talked about quantizing. You know what I mean? I had to learn that quick because I was like, man, you just don't feel like I can sample this. Let's just say. For reference, like impeach the president. Like everybody has used that 1,000,000 trillion times over. Everybody knows it when you hear it. But if you try to program that, it don't feel the same way. You know what I mean? It just don't feel the same way. You know what I mean?
Like,
so it just I'm sorry.
Kev Brown got a really dope video from like, I don't know, like 15 years ago. It's like 2006 or something like that, where and it's a technique I've used before too. And I learned it from that video. It's crazy. Where you just have like, let's say a 4-bar loop, but you're not programming to the 4-bar loop. You're only programming to like, okay, you got the kick on the 1, but then you hear it. You don't know how much time goes by, but then you put a hi-hat and you stop it and you go back and you just piece it note by note, all off quantize, and you get all kinds of crazy stuff that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Really
right?
dope.
Let's talk about my man RZA, right? When RZA dropped, everybody was kind of like, when Wu-Tang dropped, let's say Cold World, that joint. And everybody's like, yo, the drums is way off. I was like, but the feel, bro.
Yeah.
The feel is crazy. You still, everybody, when that dropped, everybody was still nodding their head the same way. You know what I mean? And it just hit you, it hit different. You know what I mean? All RZA stuff, man, just hit different. And I think that's what set him and Wu apart. You know what I mean? But yeah, you gotta. I think to me, man, we gotta go back to feel, man. Like that's what the culture was. You know what I mean? We gotta go back to feel. It's okay.
The feel's so important because hip hop. The beauty of hip hop is it fits in no box. It's literally like the only thing that fits in no box, and that's the beauty.
Yeah. You can do whatever you want, no matter which way you're approaching it. And shit. There's no rules to this shit.
That was a
Yeah,
good
that's
point on Cold. That was a good point on Cold World because there's a such thing called an offbeat blend.
right.
If you don't know what an offbeat blend is, and you're some type of perfectionist, every time you hear it, you're gonna be like, "Oh man, that shit is off." No, it's not, because when I made the beat, the metronome said it was off. The metronome don't lie.
Right. We were just listening to what's the joint by Jizza, a Liquid Swords. We were just listening to that, and I was like, "Yo, it's just you know, you sample, you hear the sample, and the sample is not, the timing is off, but yet you don't hear it when my Jizz is rhyming. You don't hear none of that. You just feel, but you feel everything, and that's what makes those records so special, man. You know what I mean? I mean, anytime that come on, man, I'm like, I shake my head back and forth. I'm like, yo, this is what's missing. The feel is everybody. I mean, okay, you know, like my man talked about quantizing. I get it, you know, and it's a computer world, but after a while, man, where's the natural progressions of music? Like, with the natural feeling of a bass player.
That
The
is
natural feeling, you know what I mean? That
Yeah.
natural part is missing, man, and that's why we go back and we sample, and we got sample libraries because people's going out there trying to get the feel, man. You know what I mean?
The
I
feel is
love
so
sampling, but
important.
I mean, sampling is forever for me, man. You know, but I agree with my man, like you said, making beats out of cans and cups and all that. I mean, getting creative, definitely getting new sounds in and stuff like that, being explorative. I'm all for it, but it ain't nothing like pulling a old joint.
It's like the B Street shit with the water drops and shit, yo.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can have a challenge where you say you make this beat, and then you have to have this sound incorporated in your beat somewhere. It could be a chicken clucking. Put a chicken clucking somewhere in there. It could be anything, but it has to be in your beat.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Just like I told you, we need to have a week where you say, I need y'all to make a sample out of any Luther Vandross song that you pick, any that artist that you pick. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of like Ski Beats. Ski Beats got the Smack Pack challenge and stuff, so he be doing them packs too. So it's kind of like that.
But yeah, out of 4 weekends in a month, you can do one like that. You know what I mean?
I mean, like today's Future Sound, I guess he gives you a bunch of stems.
Yeah, I was trying not to say that. But
Oh, shout out to Elliot again. No, I salute my brother. You know what I mean?
yeah, but they've been doing that for a long time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's like you know, I don't want to do what somebody else does. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom, like, you know. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it ain't nothing wrong with sampling some old 90s shit. We old enough now with the 90s music. That shit is like sampling some 70s shit. Like
I've heard
90s shit all the time.
Well, if you turn on the radio for 5 minutes, you'll hear old 90s, you know, hip hop R&B stuff being used now. Which blew my mind.
Already on for 2 minutes.
Blew my 2 minutes. I'll turn it off after 2 minutes, but just enough to be like, yo, what the hell? What is this? It's
you're dancing around, Caesar.
I'd be some young kid mumbling over a sample of a 90s song, and I'm like, you messed up my song. What you doing? What is this?
They flipping a lot of trap with it though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
they're doing a lot of trap with it.
I mean, when they take like a classic sample, like the Message from Nas and shit, and then they do that shit, to me, I'm like, they shouldn't have did that. Go find something else. You know what I'm saying?
If you can do it right, I'm not mad at it, but most of the time, it's not.
I'm talking about taking the actual thing and not do nothing to it, just leaving it the way it was and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
nah.
We need that week where motherfucker sample some shit with no drums. Don't put no drums in your shit. Like that.
Dude, I did
That's
that one
popular,
week and I
right?
got my boots smoked by Rocco. Don't do it.
That's all good. That's all Rocco is. Rocco be being smooth. That's gonna be Rocco and Chris Hart.
Shit, I.
Oh, wow.
Shit's I.
You know the rules. You need a 1 week notice to Rocco.
It was one of those 7.9 weeks. You know what I mean? Those inspirational 7.9 weeks.
Wow.
Yo, that's a true testament to your ability to sequence.
Yeah, that's true.
And also the raw creativity, just working with sounds.
Yeah.
That's like that was what I was going for. That was like, it's like a statement.
Like if somebody just takes a loop and then just that's it and don't put no drums to it, they didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
I'm making the next 2 sample challenges with no drums.
I love that type shit, but
for a rhyme to, but for a sample challenge, all he did was just it took him 20 seconds. Like if you put it, you know what I mean? Like, no.
Nah, hey, Chris, there was one sample challenge. I can't remember. It was like 3 years ago. Somebody did a sample challenge and they took the whole song and just
I remember.
They didn't even chop it, just put drums on it. I was so pissed off. I was like, who did this shit?
I did really like that song with what was it, Benny Siegel?
Which one?
That was it In the Air or whatever?
I can feel it in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way they did that without the drums really coming through.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I want to listen to a whole. How long them shows be lasting? An hour?
Nah, not 2 hours. Not 2 hours of that.
Hey, I'm gonna go to sleep and wake up on them.
We'll call that the ambient music show.
That's good.
Best believe I'll put a thunderstorm in my beat if I had to do that one.
Yo, don't put a thunderstorm. I'll be out.
Well, I was gonna say, I'm sure some rappers that watch the show. So, man, it's like it's like being at a sausage fest party or something, man. What a rapper yeah, when the producers all over here ain't a rapper in the room. I don't get it.
A lot of producers, though, a lot of them do be rapping and shit. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
We in here right now, B.
Actually, that could be a sample challenge. Put up a cappella, and we have to do a beat to it.
We don't want to hear that same acapella 45 times. You know what I'm saying?
No, hell no. Hey,
that's why you have more than one acapella. That's why you got more than one rapper, so you have more than one acapella.
That's not a bad idea. Just 7 acapella like hip hop stems.
Rocco rap, I rap.
Have something
Nigel
original.
Rap. Nigel rap. Yeah, either
No, I only sing, bro. I don't rap. I sing.
Wait.
We just take acapella, but we just take a 16.
Yeah, either the winner for that week get his beat. You know, if you want to, do that. Somebody, rap on his.
We could have an album by the end of the year if we had original vocals like Rocco's or Mike's or whatever.
You don't even need an
That's
album.
a really good idea.
Yeah, I don't even know that coming out.
Throw that thing on TikTok. We'll be million followers by the end of the year.
Yeah. So we could probably do it once a month. It's 12 tracks, and you release an album at the end of the year.
Yeah. Well, I know we were doing, Chris. Didn't you used to do like a mixtape? This is like way in the beginning.
No, I took all the I got to get back into it. I stopped at like 140.
Yeah, I know.
I was doing the top 20, the 20 picks. The came winners, and I was making a mixtape out of it, the 20s and shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Actually, you know what I mean?
Because making a track with vocals, that's another skill set in itself that you'll probably have to learn. Like a lot of us can make beats in there, but like trying to work it with a vocal will be another challenge we can learn.
Oh hell, in that case, call me Kanye.
I like to do a TPC radio, and then all the beats y'all have ever sent us will just be in a rotation of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
Dope.
Oh shit, they play my beat here. You know what I mean? That means like if you're like somewhere like at work or something, you could just be listening to all. You know what I mean? Like,
good idea. Yeah, I do it. I do it on my own. I got my own big ass playlist. All TPC produces.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I was thinking you could do that, like the winners do like a playlist, diving deeper into their catalog, not just their winning beats that week. You know what I mean? Like 3 or 4 songs from each of the winners that week. Put out a playlist just to give them some more shine.
That's a good idea too.
Good idea. Yeah, that's dope. It's a really good idea.
Any type of idea if you had that beat wasn't just played that one time on the show. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you do what you want with the beat. It's not like, okay, now it's producer's corner, but you can't do nothing with it. You know what I mean? It's your beat. You do whatever, you know what I mean? It's like a promotion scheme, you know what I mean? So there's been people that submitted beats to artists and got on their albums. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Guys been in the sample challenges and shit. You know what I'm saying? That people took, like Geology, for instance, or Martell. You know what I mean? Like, period.
Lincoln Rossi.
By Jay Florio too, right? Yeah, Lincoln Ross. You're like, yeah.
Man, you know how many times I go to like the dentist appointments and doctor's appointments and be like listening to people music. I'll be like, yo, this could be Producer's Corner beats just playing and shit. Like,
yeah.
you know
Stores and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like, you
Yeah.
know, Walmart, like, yo, when I just play our beats in the stores, we'll give you the, you know what I mean? Like, when people like, you be like, what, you be there, we're like, hey, wait a minute. That's my beat. Fucking playing in here. You know what I'm saying?
Like they playing some shit. You know what I'm saying? There ain't nothing vulgar. You just listening to a bunch of different.
Remember, all the beats you ever sent me are all in folders. I still have them all in my folders. You know what I mean? I don't go back and be listening, but I have them all. From some sense, like sample challenge, like I think it's like 110 or something like that.
Man, you
then I got all the winning beats. I got all the winning beats from one to now. You know what I'm saying?
How full is your hard drive, bro? You gonna need some backups.
No, I be putting them on one of my backup ones. Then I'll take it out of my main one, like this one. You know what I'm saying?
Take a little break and feed your tummy, and I don't think
just thousands and thousands of beats. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm gonna take one of y'all beats and go sell it to somebody. I just have them there. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather do, like I said, like a TPC radio or something. I mean, me and Rocco did the Fire Set radio where we was playing people's music. You know, but we have like an instrumental station. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't a rapper want to go listen to that shit? You know what I'm saying? Or fucking put it on when they're in their circle freestyle in the kitchen or something. Put that on. They're gonna be playing beats the whole time on there and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how that shit happens. So
no, if this Producer's Corner was around when I was rapping, that's all I would do. This would be playing in the car. It'd be 24/7 freestyling.
yeah, exactly. It's just it's not the same. It's not the same as we came up. It's different. You know what I'm saying? It's like just the amount of producers there is now compared to there was 20 years ago is totally ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like I remember when I first started making beats, we were on like a whole, maybe like the size of this room of producers that I knew about. You know what I'm saying? Like that were, you know, that I actually, you know, known about, like known, like, but now it's like
hey,
millions of producers. Yo.
Hey, Stress, it's Jeff. Yo, listen, let me ask you this, man. And I always want to ask you, like, what was the spark for you or Rocco? I guess maybe y'all were together, just sitting at having a plate or whatever. And when did the idea come in to say, "Ding, yo, let's do this"? The Producer's Corner. Like, what was it?
We kind of just did it and it happened and shit, right, Rocky? Like, we wasn't doing a radio.
We was just sitting around having talks and meetings, like what we want to do. Da, 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 da. So we was discussing a few different things, you know what I'm saying, that end up turning into Producer's Corner, you know what I mean? So
yeah, remember we
and like I said, he was sitting up, he was doing stuff that wouldn't have worked for me. He was just hitting y'all up, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
yeah, so when I jumped in, y'all was already 100 and I think I jumped in at 166. So y'all was already weeks in, you know what I mean? So like week one or just about to be week, like what? Say, yo, let's do it.
I can tell you how the whole idea sparked out. It was me being bored, and I made a Facebook and I called it the Producer's Corner. You know, and what I did is I looked on. People had all these groups, all these producers, and I started seeing them all. And I started adding all them as my friend. You understand what I'm saying? So once I had it in there, I started like how I do on Instagram. Like I would post their beats that I thought it was dope on my page. You know what I mean? And then at one point was like, yo, I should just start like a sample challenge. And that's Rockaway came and was like, fuck it, let's try it. And I was doing it with my phone where it looked like shit, sound like shit. You know what I mean? That's how the first sample challenges started. You know what I mean? And then I started seeing it started working. Then this just turning. And then my man made the logos. You know what I mean? I was like, all right. So then my man said, let's do the shirts. Let's do this. Let's do the thing. I'm like, all right. And it just kept going. Wow. You know what I mean? And now we're 276 weeks doing it. You know what I mean? It's like.
That's where I saw you from, Chris. Chris, you popped in Scratch Magazine TV.
For real? Oh yeah. They're talking about Will Wider. What's his name? Yeah, he interviewed me. That was like early and shit. He's like,
Gadget.
Gadget.
Sky Williams, aka Sky Williams.
Yeah, Gadget's out here in DMV. And
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I mean, they asked me, you know what I mean? And I mean, I hope that to keep, you know, I mean, I actually just went in, I did some stalking shit. Like, it's not stalking, but I went on YouTube and I looked at a couple of them playlist posts that I put up there. And I see people comment, I love to sample this. I love to sample this. And I went, so we do sample challenges. We do sample challenges. I'm commenting on all this shit. So they'll see it and we'll bring them to the attention. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you gotta reach, you gotta reach. You know what I mean? I don't like to, but if I didn't reach, this wouldn't be what it is right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Wow.
I try to get, like, for instance, getting you guys on this Zoom right now. It's me reaching out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, I feel like if there wasn't people like me, none of this shit would not be as good. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's another thing too. Chris, you need to change the thing for the shirts, like where we get them from, because it costs like us from out of America heaps of money just a thing. So we need to change the shop.
We're gonna fix that.
Yeah, the packaging is, the post is dearer than the shirts.
And then people keep asking, I can't get the hoodie, I want to get this color, I want to get the shirt, you know what I mean? And we want y'all to get them too, you know what I'm saying? It's just that, I mean, you get Rocco sending them to y'all, you know, to different countries. I mean, we're gonna try to do something. I mean, Super Ugly, is he still in here? Yeah, Super Ugly. Yeah. We all talking about how he's gonna do a certain logo one for the 300 and have them there. We don't have to bring them there, you know what I mean? And you guys can get them from him, which will take the money he makes off it. He'll like put into the stuff that he's doing for it. You know what I mean? So it'll really be like helping out for the event. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially for your overseas. You can go through him, you know what I'm saying? And he'll have the shirts up, you know what I mean? You see he's got the leftover shirt on now. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, of course, you know what I mean? But that was the whole plan, was to get, like I said before, like I started off with each one of y'all, with one mutual friend, whatever. And then I want to shout out to everybody that grabs other people and tells them about it and gets them in the shit. You know what I'm saying? Then they become, you know what I mean? Like, for instance, Mike Banks in here, he was told by Sharita. He was actually in the car with the back. She's like, these guys are producers. And he's like, yeah, it's cool. Then he became a part of, he's wearing a shirt right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, people, you know what I mean? And he does the same thing. He's been adding people in it too. You know what I mean? Y'all let people know, like, yo, this is cool. It's a community. You're going to meet people. Like, I never knew, like 10 years ago, I'm going to have friends from all around the world. You know what I mean? Like friends that do like what I do, you know what I mean? Like we're trying to become somebody with what we do, you know what I'm saying? Like that's for real. Like, you know, I had my point where I had friends like, you know, like bigger names and my friends I grew up with, you know what I mean? But now it's beyond that. And like, all y'all my friends and shit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like y'all each other's friends. Oh shit. You know, we all got the same thing in common. We love music. You know what I mean?
And the one thing about you really do make friends. I've had stress. I've had a couple other guys because I went to school for it and I was out for a long time. And I regularly get checked up. Hey man, I was checking on you. How you doing? Everything good? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Caesar, can you read what IMAX is?
Yeah. It reads send me my damn watch o'clock. I gotta say, I'm gonna send you a pre-posted package. You can send it back.
That means I'm not gonna see you. You're not going to France? Blocks you out?
I don't know. When's France? Why does my camera keep turning off? All right, hold on, I gotta switch back. When is France?
Huh? France is
France?
June 17th.
Oof.
June 17th. The week of June 17th, and Super Ugly setting it up for France, and then we're trying maybe the Saturday after because we'll be there for a week. Do it in Belgium, and Blocks Beats is gonna see what we can do over there. If not, we'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
If I go with it for a week, I'm gonna have to do roadside assistance from there. Turn on my app. We'll get calls for France. Hopefully it'll be in English.
Hopefully get us a ride to Belgium.
Huh?
Yeah, like from France to Belgium and then back. I want to go see Germany. I want to go out there. You know what I mean? I want to see out there.
I'll be up there, and my little app for roadside assistance will pop up to my s'il vous plaît. I'll be like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I was supposed to go to Germany years ago when I did it, man. I was supposed to go to Frankfurt. I was supposed to go to
Peace, bro.
Who's leaving?
Beats.
Rockadelic, what up? Rockadelic in the building. Oh, Beats left? All right. But yeah, so I don't know. That's how it worked. Anybody got any questions? Anything else they want to put in the speech like that they're thinking about? That let us know. That's why y'all here.
Yeah, maybe do a poll or something for 2 minutes or 90 seconds, or you can switch it up, have 90 seconds one week and 2 minutes another week.
I like the 40, 50 beats a week, no problem, 2 minutes. When you're getting 70, 80.
Yeah, well, do the 90.
You don't know when that's going to happen. You know,
90 seconds, and then you could have feedback maybe.
Well, that's kind of, check it out. Like I had a 2-minute beat that I submitted last week, and around 90 seconds is when I did my beat switch. So like working on a 2-minute beat and then not knowing until the day of that you're only going to get to play 90 seconds of it, you know, could factor into like, you know, the structure or the sequencing of someone's beat. You know what I mean?
So why don't we think of it like this? Why don't y'all do 2-minute beats, but make it 90 seconds, just in case, because if we hit the 80 mark or something, we'll do 90 beats. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you know what I mean? You've seen them going up like, damn, they're only gonna play. Let me reset and stress this fucking 90 seconds before you show, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because 2 minutes a beat for like 80 beats is a very long show, yo. You know what I'm saying?
I know. Rocco said it in the beginning of the Zoom, I think, that you can't please everybody. So some things have to be uniform. So to know that it could be 2 minutes, but it could also be a minute and a half, just universally, you know that like your shit could be as little as 90 seconds. And then if you get the full 2 minutes, it is what it is. You know, that's for the sake of having things work easy, you know, for the people who are putting the show on, so that there isn't chaos and you get everybody's like, well, I don't want it to be like this. My beat's supposed to be this long, for just the sake of making it easy and not to turn into a headache.
Basically, if you're going to do something cool, just do it at 45 seconds.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
My thing as the most recent judge is I learned the lesson about the difficulty on trying to listen to everybody's completed beat, because I noticed that some people didn't get the memo that it was 90 seconds. So I wanted to be fair and listen to the complete beat. And I think that if you got something, a card up your sleeve or whatever, don't wait till close to the end, because I'm guilty of that. Do it in close to the beginning, because it's like 90% of the beats got uploaded within the last couple of hours of the last day. So it was hard as hell to listen to all those beats. So I know what, you know, doing it on the show, you know, and, you know, I try to listen to the show, and you already listened to all the beats already. So, you know, it gets difficult to do that if you save it, you know, to the end. So, you know, and also I want to say that, you know, the last couple of entries I had, I tried to use the sample in a longer form. How I usually do it is, it's almost like those boxes when you get like a slot car, the little racetracks. I try to break the sample down into that smaller pieces and then put a curve where a straight piece was. And that's how I try to come up with my beat. But when you do that, it makes it unrecognizable. And so I think that's my difficulty sometimes whenever I'm in the challenges of trying to keep the sample recognizable, but also trying to do my thing. I usually lean towards I'm just gonna do my thing. So, you know, and I know, you know, my thing is, as a listener, I don't want to hear the same part of the same sample 20 times in a row. So usually I'll chop the hell out of that shit and get rid of all of that. But I know for the last couple of times I try to leave it, you know, longer, you know, just to try to see how it worked out for me.
Honestly, a 1 bar or a 2 bar chop seems to work the best for me. You know, if it goes longer than 2 bars, then I use too much of it. Not to cut it back.
I mean, if you're gonna use it, like that long, try to pitch it at different speeds. That's why YouTube can't detect that shit. They've been copyrighting hitting us. Like,
Yeah.
That's
what I'm saying. I literally, I try to cut it up into smaller bits. If it's a bar, like a 4 count, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's really all I need a lot of times, because I'm gonna replay it in a different format, so it doesn't even sound like the original song. You can recognize it listening to it, but the bots won't pick it up. Hopefully.
It's hard trying to tell what, trying to put the points on that side of it, trying to figure out which parts, that people use, that part of it was difficult. So by the end, I was just going off of, the love of it, paid attention to the detail, how they wrapped it up and stuff like that. So, it was enlightening for me to have to sit on that side of it and, and judge it. And
it's hard, bro. It's hard. I hate that part.
I think,
I was gonna say, I've been off work. So I've been off work for about 4 or 5 months now. So, I've had time to absolutely change my style, change the way I do everything. And I've been basically using the sample challenges as my test bed of how, I want, my stuff to sound. And
that's right.
I don't know about y'all, but it's been plenty of times I done sent the beat to Chris, and then I was like, okay, I get cocky, and then before I do the car test, and then come out to the car test, and the bass is too loud, the hi-hats is hitting too hard, and I'm like, damn, I don't even want to listen to it on the show. I don't want to hear Rocco say an 8 iron.
I feel this.
But that's why during yesterday's I told him myself, because
what's wrong with 8s, yo?
Man, Rocco's 8 is a normal like 5. But I took it like a champ, because I know I wasn't even gonna roll mine. And Chris was like, send me that shit. And I was like,
7 is a 2.
If Rocco gives me less than a 9, I'm like, I gotta go back and redo this.
Y'all killing me.
I told Rocco that. When Tim meets him, he's gonna kill him and shit.
I was cool, but if Rocco would have gave me a 7, I would. If Rocco would have gave me a 7, I would have stopped him.
Yo, look at Epi. Epi ain't been back.
It's your fault. It's your fault, Rocco.
He ran him
Shout
off.
out, Epi.
Oh, man.
Hey, Rocco, what's the lowest? Of course, we ain't gonna mention no names, but what's the lowest grade you think you gave out, man?
Nah, I think they're not 10. It's not you. I think
Yeah, I think I went 5.
Yeah.
Oh,
if you get a Rocco,
I listened to the
5
show.
is like it's like minus 12.
If you're getting a 5 on a Richter scale, you really messed up.
I haven't given 5s a lot. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. If you get somebody a 5, that beat was egregious.
or somebody just like straight up looped it.
He could have gave me I told him to give me a 5 yesterday, and he didn't want it.
Man,
You
Chris,
didn't have a 5 beat, Chris. That wasn't a 5.
if y'all saw a bunch of caps in the chat, that was me talking about he's capping. Lying, talking about my beat is trash. We heard it the day before.
No, everyone feel that shit was trash.
To his standards, it's trash.
I get it.
I mean, everybody to their own standards are gonna be like that about themselves and shit.
Of course.
Like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not hot. Like that shit is hot.
Of course.
I'm guilty of that too, because I've had cats mad at me. Stress has seen it, where I'm working on something and I'm just not feeling it, and I'm just like deleting everybody's.
Yeah, I've done that before too. You saw me do that. You and Rocco both saw me do that. That shit was hard. I'm like, nothing.
Yo, but I've heard plenty of producers say when they have an artist, use one of the beats, they be like, "This was trash. I didn't like it," and he took it and it became a hit. So I try not to delete anything unless it's just like a 2-bar.
I don't delete them anymore. I save them and I go back to it. And when I go back to it, if I don't feel that I can do anything with it to fix it up, it just stays there.
I was straight up cannibalize a beat. If I made something that was trash but the drums were good, I'll take the drums.
Oh, absolutely.
Beat. Yeah.
Absolutely. I do
or
that
the melody line was good, I change the drums up.
I'm a huge fan.
Right, because the idea that you had when you were working on that beat, you may be on a totally different wave a week or two later, and you hear that sample or what you already took, and you're like, hold up, I can take this and I can manipulate it and turn it into this and give it a new life.
Jada just said, I learned from the OGs to save everything.
Save it all.
There's been so many times where I'll strip it all down to a snare or just the drums or whatever and start it all over. And that shit is just so proper for whatever reason. I love cannibalizing shit like that. I'm a huge fan of, you know, like you're not totally, when you hit that delete button, when you work on a beat for like an hour or a day or whatever, and you're ready to hit that delete button. I've been there so many times. I've done it so many times, but just, at this point, it feels good to save something from that amount of time and energy that you put into that failure that you're about to delete.
Because you just go back, go back, revisit it, and see how trash it was. You feel me? Like, okay.
It was different. Wait, I'm gonna get one that was different when you had floppy disks and you only had a certain amount of them, so you couldn't do that.
Yeah, you just turning that shit off.
Yeah, that's different. My problem, I think it's my curse. My problem is I'll make a fire beat. I mean, it's hitting. I'm dancing in my chair. I haven't saved it yet because I just been building it. I forgot to save it. Computer crash every time.
Yeah.
It happened to me last week. That's why, Chris, when I was making that beat that I submitted for yesterday's show, I didn't want to put it up because I had a better one, but it crashed. I lost it.
That's painful. I lost half an album worth of work because a hard drive crashed.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Are you on Ableton Live, Caesar?
Not yet. I have it, but I haven't used it. I've been using my MPC.
See,
but I need to use it as a plugin.
That's your first mistake.
Yeah.
You and Craig, man, you got in and realize
you will have an auto save.
Wait, but it auto saves even if you don't initially save it.
Yeah.
Okay. So it saves like a backup.
Yeah, Native just put that on Machine, so Machine does that now too.
Well, I got
auto save is a lifesaver.
I got MPC and their software. The MPCs are great, but the software is trash. Not the software, it's just it doesn't do stuff like that, which makes me sad.
Yeah, man. ESR tends to get hot and freeze. You lost everything. Not freeze, but just do nothing. You're like,
yeah. Once I save on the MPC, it'll save every 5 minutes.
Actually, the MPC software on the computer does have that auto save function.
It does, but if you don't initially save, it's not doing nothing.
True.
Which is the sad part. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, that's how Natives is too. You have to initially save and then
that's my problem.
It'll save everything after that.
So I got to set up a reminder for me somewhere, like a sticky note on the wall. Save.
Well, I've been making it a habit that once I get at least the first sequence down, I save it before I continue working. Just so I don't run into that anymore.
That was my fault.
Well, I'll save it because of my own dumb ass too. Because
you see me blaming MPC, but it really is user error. Yeah.
Once you get that certain one drum pattern, you don't want to forget that you did and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and the sounds.
So that's what I normally do, but I got caught slacking, and I was like, this is dope. Crash. No.
Oh, that's painful. I've been there.
Oh man, and my wife Nikki came down and she played something a few weeks ago, and I was just jamming out, and that shit just cut off on me. Like,
man.
She was like, "You ain't like that shit." That's what I was pissed off. I was like, "That shit
you
so
got a
good.
fall. You got a fall for that, Rocco.
Yeah, man. She was like, "You ain't like it." That's why I was like, "Hey, I really was digging that shit, and the shit just cut off on me. Come and do it again. Come do that again."
So, Stress, what are we doing? 2 minutes or 90 seconds?
So what I was just saying, like I'm saying, if make it like a 90-second structure in case it hits, maybe if it hits like past 60 beats, we're gonna do the 90 seconds.
Sound like we gonna keep it 2 minutes, and we just gotta really be cognizant of.
If it hits 80.
Well, 80 yeah, because a 2 minute beat, when you think about it, 2 minutes is half a song.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So if you
like a short one. Yeah.
Every 30 beats is an hour and shit.
Yeah, I don't want to stifle cats.
I feel like that 90 seconds.
If you feel you
like
don't
that 90
got,
seconds
if
gonna
you
take off,
if you don't got enough food to do 2 minutes, then do your minute 30. But I say
why don't we make it 90 seconds and you do 2 minutes if you want? And if I see the
Right,
2
you
minutes,
could-
I'll play it for 2 minutes. You know me? If you want
No,
the
I'm
90
saying make it 2 minutes and we play
we can
2
cut it.
minutes if we want. We cut that shit off when we
Yeah.
I can see where this is going.
That was a recommendation from Granddaddy IU.
Yo.
Rest in peace to Granddaddy IU. He told me to do that. He goes,
Six-
suck, turn that shit
I
off.
could see that now. 6 seconds in, this sucks.
Yeah, yo,
Now we'll start getting 10 beats a week. You know what I'm saying?
everybody that gets 90 seconds will automatically be in the chat like, yo, didn't like mine? Why you cut it off early? I had the best beat. I put the
best part was after 90 seconds. Like, I'm like,
Here's
Just
the
for the
best
shock
one.
value, I would love to see that.
Here's the best one. I work 40
Better
hours
get-
on
better
that.
get
You
views
be
in.
like, work harder. That's what you got to tell them. Type back.
Right,
work
so right
harder.
now, as right now, it's still 2 minutes. You know what
Yes,
I'm saying?
yes.
Unless we know it's going to be a big event like we just had.
Yes.
You know it's going to be a lot of beats, then it'll be 90 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That makes sense.
Man, I would legit subscribe to a bloody ass beat battle like that, where it was just pretty shit off. I would subscribe. I would pay monthly to be in a beat battle like that. No shit, I would. Where it ain't nothing but shit talking.
Lord have mercy. See,
Come
you
with
see
that weak
different
shit,
people
you
like
gotta go.
different things, man. You know what I mean? So
yeah, everybody's
Nah.
on the same.
Nah. I ain't talking about different styles. I'm talking about the quality. That's what I'm talking about.
you know what I mean? Because people, so like some people, they just want their beats to play. They don't want us talking too much. But we do what we do for the sake of not being all boring and shit. You know what I'm saying? Not
For 2
looking like we
minutes,
just
somebody's gonna have to talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially sometimes it'd be the beat where, and I've done this, I'm guilty of it, so I'm not picking on nobody. Where I didn't really have a good idea that week, so I just made like a 4-bar loop and I just repeated it the whole time for 2 minutes. Don't sit through that shit.
That's what Granddaddy IU said.
And then after a while, you're just looking at the screen. You see people's eyes glaze over on the screen, like.
Well, if you notice it's that repetitive, that might be the cue to just, all right, somebody start talking.
Right.
You know, real talk,
this-
Chris. That's why I turned down your invitations to be on the panel, man. I can't hide my. Hey, man. Nah, that wouldn't be good.
You get
That would not
disrespectful
fit.
on
I
me.
mean, I know who
Yeah.
you are. I don't know if they know. You even got your name coming up when you're talking and shit.
Yeah, your
It's a-
iPhone.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. iPhone.
Yeah, but you know, man,
You want to
just
tell
being
them?
on
You
the
want to
show,
tell them who you are? You can tell them and shit.
you know, that a beat pop up on there on the. You start playing a beat, and I'm sitting there with my face on there, and you can see it in my face. I'm like, what the?
Yo, who said it be the?
Oh, you talking
Somebody
about the
said
panel
it be
for
the
the show? All right.
facials.
That's Paul who?
Yeah, I couldn't.
That's how I figured that. Yo, but yeah, somebody said it be the facial expressions. I forget who said it.
Well, you can't hide those.
Yeah.
It might have been Eli's. It said it'd be the facial expressions.
After every beat, Eli would put on mute the mic. Yo, and go back.
Real talk, that's how I used to judge my submissions. When I watched the show, if y'all look bored, I was like, yep, I didn't do my job this week.
Yo, if I go upstairs and shit, like
Yeah, y'all leave to get it
Well,
done. Like,
probably if you can decode what I say, there's probably little codes that is like it's not that great. So dope, nice. There's little kind of words that could be better.
when Sean B and Eli
Gotta
start
figure
laughing,
it
and
out.
The generic lexicon.
see, I don't feel bad because this is where I learned how to sample for real. That's why I started getting on challenges. I've been making beats for like ever, like as a hobby for like 20 years plus, but I decided I was like, you know what, I got to get good at sampling. So then I was like, jumped in here, and now I'm amazing. I'm all right.
Now he gets tens.
Yeah, you know.
Right. No five.
No five. No fives.
Oh, but yeah, so we got.
Yeah,
I'm about to
that's
start
still
utilizing that 1 through 5, man. I'm got to start using.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes you be giving out memos. I'm like, That was a motherfucking 5. That was not no fucking 7.8. That was a 5.8.
He gonna become the Dichter scale and shit. Fucking
Hey, yo.
like
Just start telling them they get a Mustang. You get a 5.0. Mustang.
Excellent Mustang.
Oh
Mustang.
And you can tell when he don't mean it. You can tell when he don't mean it. He'd be like, yeah, man.
I was going to give it a 9.2, but then I gave it an 8.8 because it was raining outside. I don't know.
He ain't even processed that the beat went off yet. He like,
all I said is if you made a beat and it was soft or something, and he comes in and he's pissed off, I don't know how he's gonna fucking, you know what I mean? If he's pissed off and he gives some hard shit, he's gonna be like 10. That's 10. Like yo, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm pissed off every week.
You can't be pissed off and smiling.
It's called controlled rage.
Yo, that's how it is with me. I'm loud as hell, but when I get quiet and start talking real calm,
yeah, it's a wrap.
Back the fuck up. You about to
die. I'm the check on your friends person. Check on me.
get your man.
Like I'll be yelling, and then 30 seconds later, I'll be like, "Okay, listen, get out."
What we saying?
Somebody out, then I'm laughing.
Rocker, what were we saying last night? I said how I kill somebody with kindness, and I said you do the opposite. What did I say?
I remember you saying that. Remember that?
Yeah, he said he'd be nice with fucking rudeness and shit. Fucking up, like you know what I'm saying? Like,
yo, if you're unaware, you walk away from Chris, I'm like, yeah, man, we hit it off. He's great. He really likes me. And he's back there like this piece.
Nah, it's not.
Yeah, I'm just playing. I'm playing.
Just saying, like he's.
Yeah,
Rocco just don't bite his tongue. You know what I mean? He just, all right, Lord 69.
I don't do it because then people want to fight me, and then I'm like, I don't want to do that. I like not being in jail.
I mean, my whole crew, like the
freedom is important.
You know what I'm saying?
I love my freedom.
Yes, sir.
And I don't want an accidental boyfriend. Is all I'm saying.
I love women. I love my wife. Shit.
I love women, but you know, Big Juju, he hugged me so nice.
Bro. Nah, man, I'm all right.
Shit.
I don't see Big Juju looking like.
I hope the fight works off time is over nations. He left.
I have to be that funny dude in jail. I have to start a stand-up career.
Face kicking our ass, yo. But yeah, so I'm gonna stop recording this, you know what I mean? So we don't have like a 3-hour Zoom. You guys, we can still stay on and talk, but is there anything you want to say to the people before we get off, off the recording?
Yo, all I gotta say is, do you make beats? Get in.
Do you make beats? Yo, what the
there you go.
The question is simple. Do you make beats?
Well,
it's not a simple challenge, it's a sample challenge.
Boom. You start hitting.
Yo, that's a good tagline. You should keep that.
Yeah.
It's not a simple challenge, it's a simple challenge.
Okay.
You gotta take the I out and put a sample challenge.
You are a 5. Don't worry. With us, you will be a 10 soon.
If you look, there's no I in the producer's corner and shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's a you.
Are you ready for the challenge to become Lord of the Beats?
This was a good talk. I mean, this is definitely something I would go back to and see what we missed, what we talked about, and what we didn't follow through with. You know what I mean?
I mean, we can do this like a once a month if you want to, and we'll come in and
yeah, for sure.
We could do like a Sunday. Whoever could come in, and whoever's watching, you know what I mean? I'll just post it in the Elite Sample Challenge group. Now I'll text it to Arcadillo because he doesn't like to be in groups. So you know what I mean? I'll put it there, and you guys want to come in, and I'll put the link in there, and you come in, and we all build with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like it's your choice. Like right now, I hit people and I ask them, let me ask these. You know what I'm saying? And then I talked about it on the show yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like
it'll probably pay to put it in the producer's corner because a lot of people don't even realize, you know, what the sample challenges are. Like we're still getting like, how do I enter these things, or where do you find the links in that? And maybe you have to put it in the producer's corner and put it as like a pinned to the top. Yeah.
I'll put this YouTube post in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But when you put the producers, like the sample challenge, you need to pin it in the producer's corner so it's always up the top so people can find it.
Yeah.
So I got a question.
You got a question?
So, serious is cancer.
Hold on, there's a question on the board.
Serious is cancer. So with this conversation right here, what changes can we expect to see within the near future?
I do remember. It's that noise. Hold on, I got to see where everybody's at.
Hold on, somebody got a mute. Oh, okay, you got it.
Well, it seems like with the time thing, we're gonna keep it as 2 minutes, so it's no change there. I mean, for the most part, we just, take whatever was mentioned and just try to utilize it. So I don't know if there's any real change as of yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm just talking accessories. I'm just talking about accessories that we adding to this gun, this big gun we got. What we putting on it? That's all I'm trying to see.
Okay.
I think you should have the what we talked about with producers, like maybe the winner or anyone that wants to show people how they made sounds.
Let's do it. We can do it in the Zoom chat. You want, like, I'll be in there with the person. I was also thinking, say if whoever uses the MPC Live or uses Fruity Loops, them people that just use that, we all come in one room and talk about that one thing they use, and they can ask each other questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this way, people who want to come and get into it, they want to learn, they'll watch that episode.
Yeah, you could give a workshop right now, man.
Yeah, I mean, this exactly what it is. That's what the challenges are.
We can do it. We can do it when you start recording, unless you want to.
Wouldn't that be a behind the boards department?
Yeah.
Basically.
No, yeah. This is just
add that to behind the board
building.
Yeah. But you need to.
Yeah, do behind the beats.
Yeah, it could be a subcategory.
Yeah, you do that. Yeah.
But you need to bring back the after show, Chris. Like, just for like why the winners pick the winners or whatever. But we need to bring back the after show.
Well,
you guys got to come in when I, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
But
so basically it could be a form of our own, roulette. You know what I'm saying? If somebody want to, grab 3 records or something, or a record, and show us how y'all do y'all thing and shit.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah.
That'd be dope.
Real cool. Yeah, that would be real cool.
And if you,
my thing is, we got to make sure the timing is right, so we don't so viewers ain't bored.
Yeah.
Rhythm roulette don't last, right? Rhythm roulette come on and go.
Rhythm roulette's recorded with a real person going there, and they edit it and put it out. It's totally different.
They sit there for hours, man.
Yeah,
the same shit.
Because they're not doing that in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So you could record the whole thing here and then chop it up into the interesting parts.
There ain't no 5 minutes, bro. That's like listening for 25 minutes to the same shit.
No, because it's funny on that video because it'd be like, I just picked these 3 samples and then it clips and then it's like, all right, so I got this beat here. I'm like, what?
Like, okay.
What I could do is I got a bunch of records. I pull one record out, right? And then I'll put the record up and I'll have like whoever producers that want to be a part of it. I'll randomly, I did the cards. I'll pull up, I'm like, this person right here this week has got to do with this album, and I'll send it to them, the file, if they don't got the record. And then they can show themselves videoing it, doing themselves doing it, and then I can put it out.
That's dope. That's good.
You know what I mean? Like that way, whoever said they want to be in it, and I got randomly pick the person. And if they say they can't do it for some reason, I'll go to the next card because they're saying that they're busy that week or something. You know what I'm saying? Or I can give them whatever 2 weeks to do it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, because they got to do the video and all that anyway. So.
Or you can pull a record and everybody in the room has an hour to come up with something.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
I could do that.
That's how Dilla and them used to do it though, in the room. And that's like back in the 90s though. Shit.
That's kind of
Look what we got right now, you know?
I saw DJ back.
Cutting in and out.
Yeah, you glitching out a little
Somebody was mentioning Scratch Magazine. I did on his channel. I did live cook up like 2 times. He did battles too, but he did live cook ups too. But he gave you like 1 hour, everybody on mute, and after that, everybody like showcases his cook up. You know.
You could record that and chop out all the in between part.
Yeah, you could just lay it out. You could just have your beat laid out of what you picked, and then you can just say, "Hey, this is the sample I picked, and then I added this, and then I added this, and then I did this."
If you want to do that,
just turn on all your plugins or whatever you use after that, and then just show the process. Take 5 minutes, and you're done.
I'm also feeling that.
But 1 hour, man.
You know, I'm feeling that in-house acapella shit we talked about too. We can't. We can do that.
Hey, Chris, I could do the mixing on that.
No, I'm with it. I don't want to.
you know, I kind of patented the acapellas, so I'm just.
Acapellas.
Oh, did you?
I patented it.
You got the acapellas.
You did not.
The checkapellas.
He didn't patent nothing. He telling a story. You probably palette. They probably got a palette. There's probably a palette.
God damn it.
We got brain. Got the brain appellas.
I'll let you in on the acapellas, brother Mike. I'll bring you in on acapellas.
Yeah, and I got some. You got the Rockefellers. I got the Checkerfellas.
Arcadella got the Arcapellas.
Right. Yeah, Arcadelic. I forgot about Arcadelic. Yeah, he got the Arcafellas.
And the brain's got the brain appellas and shit.
The Checkerfellas.
The Louapellas and shit, yo.
Yeah.
Who else rhymes in here? Who else is a rapper?
That's what I'm saying. Like, so you got that 1 week where you got an acapella for one from each of us, and then you just rock them shits, yo.
Yeah, that's dope too.
I love that idea.
Yeah,
it really does get it doubles as a showcase for the MC and the producer. It's like a double platform.
Yeah, thing about those when they're offbeat with it, man. They put your like that. Some producers did that before.
No, yo, I got an idea for that. If they offbeat with it, it's the same principle as whenever they put some a Nas acapella on it. Don't get no play. Don't be sending us no beats that don't fit. I mean, don't be. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. I thought we was professionals.
You need a reference track.
Yo, how about this?
The reference track. Yep, you can send the reference track. Back.
Or you get a sample and you get an MC and a producer and you team up and you got 1 hour to cook something up. No, 2 hours, yeah. So you gotta make a beat and you gotta write a 16.
I like that.
So in 2 hours you got a rough draft, man.
Nah, y'all just trying to.
They're gonna take a rapper.
You square off, so you know each other, you know.
I see what you're doing. You're trying to get me to start rapping again. Keep it up.
I just know Bender is a fucking genius with that shit. So I just know, like, putting acapellas to fucking instrumentals, he be killing that shit.
Yeah.
Like to see something like that where you actually had captains or something, pick teams, and your teams have to include, so many producers and MC, and you just take different weeks or whatever and put different producers in your team against the other ones and keep score like that.
That's dope. I ain't know.
Ways.
Yo, it's like the rap
Acapella thing
Olympics.
is a choice.
Huh? Say that again?
I'm just trying to figure out how to do it with hearing the same shit over and over and over again. It's like
But the acapella thing is a choice. You ain't gotta use the acapella. You still could just make your beat. It's just a choice.
Well, what I think somebody said, I forget who said it, but to have mad acapellas at once to choose from. So there's like 7 different vocal stems. So you're not hearing the same shit over and over and over for 3 hours.
Usually the hardest verse, everybody's gonna pick that one.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Chris, you could just use a verse. If it's a 2 song, you ain't even got time for 2 verses, really, because we already talking about if it can be 90 seconds. You might not even have a time for a whole.
When I think you like a 16 and a hook, and that's it.
Yeah, or you can have you can put your own hook to it, your own twist on it.
That's true.
In actuality, you remixing the song anyway.
That's true. I mean, honestly, that's what these talks are about. We're talking it out. We're figuring out what's going to be annoying, what's going to be time consuming, what's the most logical choice to make, and all this shit. That's why I love sitting in these talks. I'm not a big Zoom guy, but this is good for the culture. It's good for the individual. It's good for the group. It's just I'm just trying to help give back. So like whatever we can figure out, like to cross off the list. That's like honestly, that's what these talks are all about. Is just bouncing ideas off each other.
That's the reason why we did it.
I know that.
I like the acapella thing. I just gotta figure out exactly how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta figure it out. What if we don't like? What if you do it like you don't do it every week, or what if you do it separately? Like make it its own thing, or we could just use famous ones. You could just have 7 different famous rap instrumentals.
We getting flagged. We getting flagged.
Okay.
Bro.
All right.
Yeah, we have to do that. We have to do that in like right now in the Zoom. We had to be our own judges.
All right. That shit will make no sense.
So this is the birth of the producer Olympics.
When does that Nas verse get up there? I'm shutting down the whole producers corner. Who was this Chris McManus dude?
How about this? How about a producer submit his acapellas and he puts it up there, and then he has the producers send him the songs. You know what I'm saying? Like this is his idea. He sends him the songs, and then he picks the best one he likes, and we play it at the end. But then producers that don't get it, they still play their beats for it on the show.
Yes, sir.
Acapellas all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That way, that beat that the person picks, they might end up using it for something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That doesn't sound good because we gotta hear the verse fucking 17 times.
That's a good idea. I think that's a good idea.
You let the person that gave the acapellas pick the song, and then that's the song we play at the end of the show. And then, like I said, he'll hit the person up that he picked. He's got to pick by noon. He'll hit the person, and the other people. Everybody send me their beats regardless. And then the person he picks will send me the song. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll do it like that. We can do it like that.
Yeah, but and also you can also not always do it at the end. You can do it at the beginning too. You know what I'm saying? You can leave
the show beginning. It's more like we're not talking about it more towards the end. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about it like, here we go. We're gonna play the joint y'all been waiting for. Here it is. Boom. You know what I mean? Gotcha. I kind of like the idea at the beginning where we're playing last week's winner's beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, continue. And then here's a new thing I was thinking. If you win this week, does anybody watching or that's in here? Send me your beat like 5 minutes long if you want. That's why I don't got to keep playing it back at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll just let it play. You know what I mean?
How about making 1 minute beats and you can pull it up when it's that hard? You can pull it up and play it one more time. Yeah.
What you mean?
Repeat.
Yeah. Just repeat the beat, like like I understand. Like you want to make it shorter, right? So from 2 minutes to 1 minute and make it slap.
Oh no, I'm talking about the intro of the show when I'm doing all the putting all.
Oh, my bad.
On all the pages, you know what I mean? How it's playing. I got to keep going back and play it again when it stops. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, Mike, I could always play it first too after the intro. I know, Mike, when you still.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm here.
What do you think, Rocco?
Did you know that downtime that y'all have at the beginning when the beat's kind of playing and you kind of getting everything right? You know what I'm saying? That could be playing instead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't want to play it. I usually play the beat like 5 or 6 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom, I don't.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Right. I can play it first after that when it's first starting, then I can play it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it just seemed like you would want to play it when you have the most viewers.
That's like probably like in the middle.
Yeah, you want to play it when you have the most viewers. You would, because you're trying to get more viewers too, right? So we got to do some things to get more viewers.
We'll get 85
try to
beats.
share
We'll
it
have
as
only
much as I
40
can.
people watching at one time. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I try to share it as much as I can
right,
when
Mike.
it's happening.
Yeah, man.
Nice little game, nice little change up though, man. Show.
That's what we need to do these for. It'll keep the numbers staying in there on the show. Like I was happy with yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like
we need like 80 viewers every time.
100.
100.
I remember one time it was on Sample Challenge 10. Me and Rocco looked after. We were like at 100 and something people watching all the time. Remember, Rock? And then we looked after, and it was like 12,000 views on Facebook after the show. I was like, damn.
I'm gonna say Facebook. Yeah. The year you was on Facebook
was during Corona or no?
No, it was when we first started. The Sample Challenge 10. It was,
this way before
probably
Corona.
It was probably at the end of 2017. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you were.
I got in here.
What happened?
I was saying I got in the Producer's Corner in 2018. I think it was Sample Challenge 63.
He came in like right after the year. The first year was like learning shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we were doing it on the phone and fucking we were doing like people would tell me stress, it sounds like shit on the phone. I'm like, I was blasting it in my speakers with my phone right there and shit. You know what I mean? Like
that was a good old days. I came in on 50 when it started to get a little.
You know what I'm saying? Like we were learning, you know what I mean? And then shout out to we've never seen him in a while, but shout out to Analog. Analog helped me out a lot with how to use the OBS and all that stuff. They were all telling me, get on the OBS, get on there. Stop fucking trying to just do it. And I was just doing it later with the camera, and I was just doing it on Facebook. And everybody's telling me, do it on every fucking platform. Every platform. I was like, eh. And then Facebook started fucking with me. So I started doing it on Facebook and YouTube. And then I just fucking took it off Facebook. And said, we told me and Rox, we wanted to just bring everybody to the YouTube. To go subscribe to the YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Because that's where we're trying to go. Because you know, I don't know y'all, but majority of the time when I'm in my house, I'm in my room or in the living room, I'm watching YouTube. I'm going through YouTube, watching shit on YouTube.
Yeah, like, me too.
Ain't shit on Netflix or something. That's where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Chris, when you finally switched to YouTube, made my heart happy. I ain't gonna lie.
No, but yeah, because you know what I mean? Because the same thing. I'm like. We all do that, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how many. I don't know too many people who still have cable and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's.
I take offense to that.
You feel attacked?
You got cable?
Yeah.
It's too expensive. You pay $200 for nothing. You know what I'm saying?
I'm stuck watching Bounce TV out here in these streets.
Oh man, not Bounce TV.
No, I'm just kidding, man.
Hey, I am not gonna front on you. Before I started the streaming services, I was watching like the local channels and all the in-between digital channels that showed up.
Yeah.
I don't even know the names of because there wasn't nothing on. So
I was always good until In the Heat of the Night came on. Oh, God damn.
Then you're like, yeah, I'm up too late and I need some
shit.
A lot of people telling us
out of here, Virgil.
go to Twitch and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I'm guiding off, my bad. I'm guiding off, my bad.
I don't know what I'm saying. I'll say Beat Nerd in the building. All right.
Oh,
so
man.
A few more minutes. Congratulations, Beat Nerd. Beat Nerd got a new house. He moved. Shout out to Beat Nerd.
Oh, shit. That's a real Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Peace. Happy New Year, family.
He ain't in Florida no more, man.
Beat Nerd.
What's up, man?
Salute, man.
Peace.
I was supposed to been come visit him, man. I've been slacking. Well, I've been slacking. I've been working.
It's too late. I'm out, man. I just left Florida, man. I'm up here in Georgia now.
Well, that's my fault.
My furniture. Waiting for my furniture.
He's actually down there in Georgia.
That's my fault. But no, well, to me, he's up there in Georgia. Is it south of Georgia? I can still come visit.
Yeah. Still South Georgia. Columbus.
Yeah, I need to come see you. I'm gonna hit you up.
Shit, word. I got family up there. I might need to pop up.
Oh, you gotta, just come through. Just come through, man. I love it out here, man. People, people speak to you, they treat you right out here. So it's good
My
people.
in Cobb County, though. How far are you from Cobb County?
Cobb County. Oh, I'm about 35, 40 minutes from them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
I'm trying to plan a trip up the Blue Mountains in a few months.
Then your boy from UMC's, he in Georgia too. He in Augusta. The cool Kim.
Oh, Kim.
Yeah, he was in the chat with us. Yeah, he was doing that.
Yeah, we spoke. Yeah, we spoke with him like what was it, Chris? What, last month, right?
Yeah, that's IU was in there too. That's
the last time. That's right. The last time we spoke with
IU.
IU. Yup, the last time.
And I'm
He was
starting to
even
wonder.
showing himself.
I see all these thumbnails where they say Granddaddy IU's last interview. And I'm like, man, maybe Chris had Granddaddy IU's last interview.
Possible, yeah. No, Granddaddy IU actually was doing shows and shit. Yeah, like, dude.
I be wondering that shit.
But see, that's the thing. They keep with Chris. It's not an interview. It's a discussion. It's more intimate than an interview.
That was my people.
On that level, especially with a legend like him, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he was one of those dudes. You threw a break in front of him, he could kill it. That's why, hey Chris. That's why I hit you. That's why I thank you so much for allowing me to speak with him and converse with him, man. And the fact we had so much, we knew the same people. That was crazy. That was crazy, man. But how's everybody doing in here, man? For real.
Yeah, we were about to cap out too, but now you came with you for recording. We'll still be, but we're recording right now. We're talking about discussions about sample challenges and stuff like we've always been doing, you know what I'm saying, before, but now we got more people in talking, you know what I mean? Like different things in different ways. I mean, it's still the same, but we come up with ideas to see how the producers feel when they're getting in. Like, nah, I don't want to get in. I mean, I know every week might not have time, or they might get on the beat and they don't like what came out, or they don't like the sample choosings, or you know what I mean? Like, there's all different reasons. Or family issues, or their equipment's down, or like, how you didn't have your equipment since November, right? So working, right? Shout out to Leo Wreck and Play. I think he's going through the same thing. That's why he hasn't been in for a while.
Yeah. Well, if I may, I mean, when I joined, Lisa was the one that brought me in, and that was, I think it was.
What up, Lisa?
It was, yeah, I know. She's in there right now taking care of business, but I think that was, I want to say it was either 9 or 10. Because but I enjoyed it because I watched everybody grow. I watched everyone come up, everyone do their thing, everyone's, get from this dude, from that dude, from this female, that, I saw the progression of it. The other thing about it was for me, it allowed me to test relevancy. So for me to test relevancy, with cats overseas that are taking old school styles and flipping it, the hottest way.
I'm just gonna make it early and we eat it early, and you just eat it after.
So shout out to the Producers Corner, man, for providing that platform.
So I was thinking tomorrow maybe buy some chicken and go with it.
Salute to you, man.
Sorry, Mike. Go ahead. Sorry, Mike. We heard you talking. So we here, 276 weeks, 2023. Hey, 23. Michael Jordan's number, man. 23. It's crazy. All right, Moses, man.
Peace, Moses.
Yes, we came in, I wanted, like I said, maybe we might do this like maybe once a month, like maybe the first Sunday of the month or something, you know what I mean? And we just talk, and talk different ideas and different things, and then we'll come up with different shows and different ideas at the same time. We still do the same challenges. You know, we want to put as much material on that YouTube. The more material we put, the more chance of getting more subscribers and more viewers. You know what I mean? And you know, building this out. They say it takes 10 years to become established or something. It is like 10,000 hours or 10 years or something like that.
Yeah, 10,000 hours. Yeah,
10,000 hours, man.
Yeah,
You definitely got that in.
I don't know how much you gotta think we do 3 hours a week. Was that 150 or maybe 160 hours a year? That ain't 10,000 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, even if unless it's 10 years or something, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, you can do 10,000 hours less than that, I think. Or am I tripping?
160. So I'm saying is 160 hours is a year. You know what I mean? We did 5 years. You said 10,000. We're not even hitting 1,000 hours.
no, but you gotta count the hours as well that you invested in it, like off air, all the thinking you put in it. You know what I'm saying? That's the same with like if you start learning the MPC. The 10,000 hours also comes off of just thinking about it, man. That's basically how it goes. Yeah.
No, you're right.
Yeah, it's a human
Wait,
brain.
what?
Man.
Yeah, one calendar year is 8,760 hours. That's almost 10. See, I know I'm not crazy. I can do a little bit of the math is mathing.
How much is a year hours?
A year, one calendar year is 8,760 hours.
Oh,
That's
for one,
crazy.
1 year. Damn, we wouldn't even get 10,000 hours in 1 year. That's crazy.
Yeah.
If you give up everything, yeah.
Well, yeah. That'd be night and day. And, well, that's including sleep time, I guess. So that's just straight up.
You can just count your living days as long as you have the discipline every day. You know?
When I was in school, it felt like 10,000 hours.
Yo, Tate,
Yeah.
does it count when you're dreaming of TPC?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
also,
considered work.
man, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're making beats in your head in your sleep, yeah.
Hey, you know, it depends on the emotion you feel with it, you know? Yeah.
If you wake up beatboxing, yeah, that counts.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's double hours.
Double hours.
Hey, and time works differently at Sleepland. 1 minute is like 3 years. So
I can't lie. I have waken up, you know, a few times humming going. Oh damn! Hold on. Yo, let me go make this real quick.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I do that, but every time I do, I don't save my progress, and then my computer crashes.
Every time I do that, I'm at work or somewhere. I can't do nothing about it. Shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, like, I ain't gonna remember this in a few hours when I gotta work and think of a bunch of other shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, it's crazy.
Then a few times I had to do a voice memo in my phone, and then when I got home, I was like, "What I do?" Try to put it together real quick.
Brain of a producer,
I have to go
man.
roll one.
Got the what?
I have to go roll one before I go back to listen to what I thought of.
Yeah.
Because if I do it without it, I'm gonna go, what was I thinking? No, but if I roll one and go, okay, I know where I was going with this one. All right, bet.
Yeah, your mind's different brain.
If I roll one, I'm going right to sleep, so I can't do it.
Oh, bless your heart.
Yeah, bro, I'd be like this. So
if I roll one on 90% of the time, I can't do shit. Like I can't just make shit.
Hey, so I got how many beats y'all make a week?
Counting Producers Corner, I've only made one in 12 months last year, so I'm trying to change that.
I only made one beat a week.
Let me see. While I'm being funny, I'm in front of my folder. I can tell you.
Like one a week as well.
I start 3 to 4 and pick the best one and push the other ones forward until they just, I figure they stink so bad, then I delete them. But
Yeah.
I usually start 4 every week and then pick one, follow through with it.
I'm doing at least 2 on a good week, but I haven't had a good week in a couple of years. So,
I mean, because y'all got a lot of equipment. Like, y'all like some real producers. I'm gonna sit back, listen to y'all.
Check this out. Check this out. Real talk. The first DAW I had, this is years ago. So YouTube watching this, don't judge me. I had a jailbroken DAW. I had a PC computer, And then my cousin, he was doing music with me. So he was like, yo, I'm going to upgrade. So he got a Mac. And then I try to figure, I put the money together somehow, found me a Mac. Then I got Logic. Then I got, then he got an MPC. Then I got an MPC.
I had a Yamaha, what was it? Archidelic? I had a Yamaha 4-track cassette. That was my first dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo.
Yeah. My first dog.
I had a dog before. Actually, it's not a dog. It's an all. It's an
all. It's an audio workstation. It's an all.
Analog.
Archidelic had it first. The DAW was this fucking mini disc one, and that was your first DAW, right? That was digital, right?
Was that
mini disc was digital, right?
Yeah. It was. I hated that thing because it crashed all the time. It was Tascam 564.
A digital mixer.
He got that shit before me. I still have my cassette shit.
No, the first DAW I had was the first version of Magic's Audio Maker or something like that.
Yeah, Music Maker, yeah.
It was just loops. I didn't have a MIDI keyboard. I didn't know nothing about that. I got excited, installed it, and I was like, what the hell is this? And I was clicking the notes in. It was bad.
Started on Cakewalk.
I wanted Cakewalk so bad. Like I was too poor.
Fast track.
First digital audio recorder was a DAC. I think Garchdale got the same one after I had the D, what it was called.
DA, was it DA20?
I have it still, but it doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you
the
couldn't
only thing I
really
still have. That and the ASR. You go back to that. You go back to that, and you're like, damn, I can't make it sound good. But you go back to it, I'm like, yo, was this simple? That's all I used this shit, fucking, and probably make crazy beats with the limited.
Yeah, but to answer your question, probably I think 2 is good. 2 a week if you got a day job and you got other stuff you got to do. But because I mean everybody on here, they got beats and beats on beats, but it's like they've been doing it for years.
Yeah, I'd like to get into that. So I like to be able to make a beat a day. Yeah, I remember those times I was making 7. I was doing a project and people were coming and leaving. And when the person would leave, I try to make some shit real quick, and then the person coming in and record. You know what I mean? Because I used to record all the time. I don't know if Rock was still here. I could tell you. He used to come to my house. We used to talk on the phone during the week because we both worked during the week. And he would come to my house on the weekend and record like 5 songs on a Saturday. You know what I'm saying? He would have all wrote with 5 songs, 3 verses each. And the beats, you know what I mean, would have the whole shit done. Like,
we talked a long time ago when the songs were 3 verses each.
Yeah, 20, not 16. They were like 20, 24s and shit. Like, yo.
Yeah, these are like 20, 24, 32 bar.
Yeah. 3 verses.
2 hooks, intro.
The songs were like 5 minutes.
Yeah. And if it was a New York song, it had to be about a minute and a half of talking in the beginning. Yo, son, you know where I'm from? Yo, Brooklyn Best, that what's up? 94, 95.
That was the end. We would do that at the end and shit.
Nah, motherfuckers was doing that. If it was a rap dude from New York, you'd be talking for like 2 minutes before.
In the beginning.
Yeah.
Shouting out dudes.
Yeah.
Shouting out your people.
Yo, Shun.
Talking about like 1994, 1995.
Thing is, I'm from Brooklyn. I can go back to that accent. I just, I'm in Florida, so nobody understands. They're like, "What? Are you from New York?"
That's crazy.
I thought there's a lot of Puerto Ricans in Florida.
I used to get that a lot when I lived in North Carolina. They're like,
a lot of people that Spanish.
I'm like, no, I'm not from New York. I'm like, where are you from? Connecticut. Is that near New York? Yeah.
You're like close enough, but no.
They're like close enough. You sound like you're from New York. I'm like, no, I don't.
Nah, I can hear Connecticut accent. I'm like, you're northern, but not New Yorker. What's going on?
There's Sparks. Sparks is in Florida too.
Yeah. Sparks didn't lose. I'm the only one who lost my accent though. I came down here.
I used to try to explain, but it just got nowhere. It was like, people in Connecticut sound different from people in New York. Some people, sound different from people in New Jersey. Sound different from people in Boston.
Yeah, Boston got that crazy fucking accent.
Yo,
charger? You got a charger? Can I use your charger?
You got a
cab? Rhode Island has a heavy Massachusetts influence because I got family members that live in Rhode Island and they got the same accent. I'm going to park the car and all that.
Yeah. No, but that's the thing, right? Like even in New York, the accent changes depending on the culture, the background, the ethnic background,
and depending on where you are.
Like Italians, you know, they talk like this all the time. It's like real drawn out.
What to do?
This fucking guy.
Yeah.
You got Puerto Ricans. You got Puerto Ricans are like, teacher, come over here. I'm talking to you. What you mean? Real fast.
I'm gonna end the recording for the show. We keep talking, but we're not talking about beats no more. We're talking about
all right, yeah, we all beats.
But everybody, yo, we'll see you guys on the next one. You know what I mean?
I gotta give them the kung fu.
You guys can stay on. I'm just gonna end the recording.
We're gonna do 30 shout outs to eat. We're gonna do 30 shout outs a piece while you were fading out. You know, we're gonna take it old school.
Shout out to my mom. Yo, shout out to my brother Mike. Yeah, you talking about
Are yelling out street names for no reason. Shout out 45th and 5th.